following podcast contains strong language, graphic violence, and nudity. Viewer discretion is advised. Tony, say something if you're real! Say something real, Tony!
Four guys and a movie. Four guys and a movie. Tony, Brian, Rob, and Joe reviewing movies for the show. Four guys and a movie.
Hello and welcome to the 4 AM podcast, the podcast about movies, snacks, and all things nerdy. I'm your host, Rob, joined by these plump little vampires full of blood.
Okay, going somewhere with that, or I didn't know what the fuck that was.
That's when you tell
low texture count.
which plump little vampire you are.
Plump little Tony, I guess.
I'm Dark Follower Brick.
You need to bring your microphone a little closer to your face, sir.
I'm Dark Follower Brick.
That's better, but also worse.
And you're close. The term was Dark Seeker.
Oh, Dark Seeker.
And I am Legend.
Nice. Yeah.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
John didn't introduce himself. Hi, John.
Dark Seeker.
Yeah, he's the Dark Seeker. I'm the
you
Dark
got it
Follower.
wrong. He's the
you're
Dark
correcting
Follower.
him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
John is chasing Brick around while Brick is following him around, and they're just
so-
running in a circle.
That would make
We are such
Brick
a mess.
the Nightman, and John would be the Dayman.
Ah.
Oh, good.
I will not pay the troll toll.
All right.
Therefore, I cannot access the boys' hole.
All I ask is that you two try and keep the rape scene tasteful.
It reminds me of a Brick history story. It's fairly brief.
Found that hard to
I was
believe, but
being-
please go.
I was being chased by my brother while I was on the phone one night
Thought you were gonna say
because he
uncle.
stole a Matchbox car, and I was like, bring that back. And then, or actually, I was chasing him. So I chased him, but he tricked me because back then we didn't have cell phones or cordless phones.
Back then, serpentine hadn't been invented yet.
And I reached the extent of the 20-foot long cord that I was tethered to, and it literally, like cartoon move, my body kept going, but my head jerked back, so I was flat on the ground on my ass, knocked the wind out of me, and my brother came over and stomped on my junk.
He did not keep the rape scene tasteful.
No, my brother
Yes.
would not take any prisoners when he had the opportunity.
Always stomp the groin.
Yeah.
Double
Hush,
tap.
please.
Hush.
Yeah. So, yep. That too. We watched a movie today. But you know what? The movie sucked. Let's have a snack first. It's
Everyone's entitled to their own opinion at this
Yeah.
table.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
But
We'll
apparently,
get there.
we're having a snack first.
we're having a snack first.
Always
would,
begin it on a snack.
would one of you please pass the bowls around?
There's
I only count 3 bowls.
Yeah, I'm not partaking.
Uh-oh.
I've already tried this.
Which one of us is not partaking?
You bastard.
Son of a
So
bitch.
yes, math's still wrong.
To be fair, math is hard.
It is.
Or as they say, maths.
Maths. You got to know how to do your maths, or at least know how to make a computer do them for you.
Damn
which is what I do.
Europeans.
Well,
I don't know if we ever discussed peanut butter cocoa marshmallows, but we're discussing that now. while we're waiting
Well,
for
since
Rob.
this has come up, yeah, you know what? Europeans pluralize math, they singularize sports. We do the other way around. Whatever you choose,
Give
doesn't
me
fucking
gotta
matter.
go on holiday.
It's just an opportunity for me to say, "Damn Europeans, Tony."
Give me your bowls,
Nuts.
you
Oh.
human queefs.
Human queefs. This is my
'cause
bowl,
you're-
Tony.
You're giving it to him now.
I feel like we've had Nutty Buddy
We
cereal
have
before.
not. We have had.
We had Nutty Buddy ice cream.
We had Nutty Buddy ice cream. We had another little. We had brownie,
Mm-hmm.
cosmic brownie ice cream.
I just want to say that these kind of remind me of dog food kibble.
So-
Just saying. The look is very...
But there are
Nibble
a
and
lot
bits.
of chocolatey cereals that look like dog food until the milk hits them.
Alright,
Fair,
so for those of you listening that are not nervous, can't read the box. It is Kellogg's Nutty Buddy cereal, chocolate and peanut butter flavored cereal
All right.
of the Little Debbie.
Not sponsored.
Before
Yet.
we go any further, how many of you think Rob went and got a fourth spoon when he got the fourth bowl?
I have a wooden spoon. I'm good.
Rick has his own.
I have my own. I came
Rick is
prepared with that.
What the hell is happening?
There is no spoon.
Don't you remember in the back of my car I have a spoon? just in the side?
I'm so
Door.
ashamed I could strangle a dog
Wow. We'll get there.
and weep. Alright, now I did taste this cereal, so I have a little bit of a leg up. I think it's good.
Are we
No.
testing it all at the same time?
I did a
Like, how
little
is this
pre-milk
Whatever.
munching, which I shouldn't have.
Actually, I think you should try it dry.
I was just about to say.
I kept a
It ain't
piece
bad
or two
dry.
on the side here.
It's like a Reese's Puff.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what it reminds me of, just in a longer, more tubular shape almost. And we all know the best foods are
It's less
tube
rabbit
shaped.
turd, more deer turd.
There you go. And what do you think of deer turds?
They ain't rabbit turds.
In general, it's a step up from rabbit turd.
So, because rabbits do eat one of their two types of turds, so
Now, which
there might
kind-
be something going on there.
Which kind of deer turds, though? Are we talking like Brooklyn deer turds or Bronx deer turds?
I'm eating my Nutty Buddy.
Got to be the Upper West Side.
Pizza rat deer turds.
All right.
You can take more milk than that.
Yeah. No, that's good. The larger size than the Reese's Puff handles more milk and conveys it to your mouth in a different way.
Yeah.
Still not a Nutty Buddy.
It's not a Nutty Buddy, but
It's
that's
pretty
not,
close.
I mean, it's a cereal.
Yeah.
If you really, if you're that hard up, just put a Nutty Buddy in a bowl and put milk on it, and then you'd be like, yeah, that's a Nutty Buddy.
It's close enough for rock and roll.
It tastes like cereal.
It's a far cry better than that sad cosmic brownie cereal.
Mm.
So, I mean, this is probably the best Little Debbie derivative that we've had, eh?
Mm-hmm.
I think so, yeah.
The ice cream was good too.
Ice cream was pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
that Nutty Buddy is pretty good.
I think Nutty Buddy flavored things have been very consistent. They're
Yeah.
usually above board.
I mean, it should be. It's just chocolate and peanut butter. You should be able to screw that up, in theory.
Many have.
But I will counter with the primary way that gets screwed up is by adding other shit to it.
Yeah.
Yep. Like if this had sprinkles, that would just be like a why did you do that? It's so unnecessary.
Fucking sprinkles.
Also, we watched I Am Legend.
Oh, that's why we're here.
Yeah, so consensus is good. Thumbs up for the milk, the cereal.
Cereal,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, sure.
Nutty Buddy cereal is approved.
Unfortunately, do we have to talk about the movie or do we have some other snack we have to talk about?
We do you want to talk about the peanut butter cocoa marshmallows, Joe?
I don't want to even look at those. I mean, I don't. I should have known what I was putting in my mouth before I did, but it's just it's a fucking marshmallow with like a bit of chocolate on it. Like it's not that good.
I'll eat
Yeah.
that.
That's fair. It's a cocoa marshmallow covered in peanut butter and chocolate.
Yeah, it's
There's a slight bit of peanut to it. It's
Yeah.
mostly just a chocolate covered marshmallow.
it's kind of like how a lot of
Oh,
sparkling
these are
waters
big.
say they're like strawberry flavored,
Yeah,
but
oh,
they're
yeah.
like they remind you of strawberry a little bit.
They
That's
had
how
a
that
300,000 gallon vat and they dropped a single strawberry in for flavor.
And that's how you got toothpaste.
Yeah, so you got toothpaste and strawberry dig.
Ooh, idea.
Uh-oh.
You take you know the giant marshmallows, really big marshmallows. You take that Reese's. Listen, put the peanut butter in the middle of that, and you got the marshmallow around it, and you cover that in chocolate.
That's a good idea.
That was a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
It was a damn fine idea. We're copywriting that idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna cut this portion out of the podcast.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
I would be happy if Reese's just made it.
What's that other thing over there?
It's a bag of Fritos.
Nope. The thing that looks like it came from Canada.
Oh, the
Okay.
maple pancake snaps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pass that down.
Oh, that's
They're
right.
pretty
He
good.
wasn't here.
Oh, was he not?
I
here
haven't
for that?
experienced this.
He hasn't experienced the cinnamon bun JoJo's either.
I am game for all of these new experiences. Every time I come here, it's like I'm eating food I've never experienced before because I am eating food I haven't experienced before. Rob was the
That's
first
how life
person-
works.
He was the first person to introduce me to the Dunkaroos. I'd never had those.
That's because you were a deprived child.
Uh-huh.
I was busy getting kicked in the balls and
Mm-hmm.
Living on a giant property.
It's not that big.
It's compared to a third of an acre.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
don't dox this boy.
You think anybody can find anything in Oxford? There's like one road, you go off that, you're fucked.
Thankfully, everything's just on that one.
Yeah, just about a. But Brick's not, so you're fucked.
Now, there's
Well,
parts of Oxford
I will
that I
argue
just...
that most of humanity doesn't want to find
Yep.
a brick.
No.
Yeah, no, I just start talking to you and you just leave.
It's a whole lot of wetlands and some hobbit holes.
Okay, we watched I Am Legend. Got-
Sorry, I texted the group and John just never puts his phone on silent.
No, it's on silent. You were just part of my preferred group, so you break through the silence.
Aw, don't do that anymore.
So John puts his phone on silent and then
You guys got
sets
kind
it
of
to not be silent on
kind
silent.
of a Raylo thing going
Well,
on.
it's
Huh?
people who are important to me have the access that if they're having an emergency, their text will get through, even if I have it on silent.
All right, guys, we're calling John out. Let's see who's on the list. Who in this
I
room?
am not.
Who
John.
in this room is not on that list?
Would you
John?
like me to text you?
I am not.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can find out.
Here you go. Now you know if I really care about Brick.
Put up a shut up time. Well, Brick has a pretty special noise.
Well, it's not that you really care about me. It's that it's important for you to know when I'm coming.
Honestly, I don't remember if I put you on my favorite.
We're going to find out. It's going to take me a bit, though.
he's not just going to text one word to you.
Oh, yeah, I am. Just,
Can you tell we don't want to talk about this movie?
Did you?
Oh, sorry, buddy.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I
So
will not
is it
give your
just me?
position away.
You no, you either?
I guess not me either.
Oh, well, I do feel special.
Joe, you're his boo.
I guess so.
Oh,
Yours, John?
yeah, no.
Oh, just
Well,
Joe.
actually, in Joe's case, it might have been so that it would work when my phone's on silent at work.
Mm.
Ah.
There's a last minute save from John.
So he thinks.
Tony,
Yeah.
I'm willing to wager you know some things about this movie.
Oh, yeah, we
Yeah,
watched
you're
the
right.
movie. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we're actually doing that now.
Busy shaming John.
Yeah, so as mentioned, we did I Am Legend. That's actually from 2007. I believe someone threw out 2010 before, but close enough. It is directed by Francis Lawrence, who we covered already with Constantine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who
You have
also
to see that.
did Water for Elephants and a bunch of Hunger Game movies and a whole lot of music videos, which explains some things. This movie is based on a book. It's been around. The basic premise has been around for a long time. We had the Omega Man was an adaptation of this book or an attempted one,
fighting
and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I did get confused there for a moment. I was
They-
like, Mega Man doesn't seem to fit this plot.
The Omega Man.
Uh,
Apparently, at one time, they've been trying to get this movie remade for a long time. So, like, we went through all kinds of directors, including like Ridley Scott and Tim Burton at one time.
like since the version that we just watched, they've been
No,
trying to remake?
before,
Oh,
but
before.
to get to this point.
Oh, okay. All right.
And we had stars like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Tom Cruise, Nicolas Cage, Michael
Wow.
Douglas, Mel Gibson, and Ted Levine. I don't like. No one had an idea of what the
Could you
hell we
imagine
were
if William
doing.
Dafoe played bad guy?
I can, and I wish
Well,
that happened.
Now, if it was Nicolas Cage going crazy in New York while zombie William Dafoe chases him around,
Did you just send you his dick?
Oh, yes.
Just faxed it to
When he
him.
tried to text me to see if he was on my favorites list, he texted the wrong phone.
I was too quick. Anyway,
That's what she said.
okay.
got you
Now
there.
I'm all thrown off here. So yeah, originally, because this was discussed a lot, because it's going to be an issue, but the quote unquote Dark Seekers were people in makeup, but the director, whoever, somebody felt that they seemed to fake and just seemed like angry mimes running after him. So rather than just do a better redesign, they said, fuck it, let's all do CGI. That's
For them all the time, whether
All
we
the
need
time.
to or not.
all the time. Added fun thing, which is, and I noticed it a bit more this time, which it's sad because there's so much wasted potential on this movie. Like apparently Will Smith, like, you know, did a lot of training. Like he talked to a lot of doctors and stuff to see how, like, what you know, how they would actually you know, apply whatever. And he talked to people in prison to see how they deal with isolation and what that kind of does to you and stuff. It doesn't affect the movie all that much, but also to add to his craziness, not all those mannequins were mannequins. Some of them were people and did move slightly throughout this.
I
Just
wish
to
they
fuck
made
with
that
you.
a little bit more evident.
Yeah, that's a cool thing, and I would have liked to have seen more of that, but like it doesn't play that much of a factor. Like I said, until the bridge scene, we'll get there, but like I was kind of like, I'm not, you know, how crazy is he supposed to be? And then it's like, okay,
Well,
how crazy is he supposed to be?
It would be interesting if somebody who had the ability to do, like we would call it in marketing, like an A/B test, to see if somebody would pick up on like a subconscious uncanny valley kind of thing in the scenes where you're looking at a person posing as a mannequin. You might not notice directly and be like, oh,
yeah.
that's a person. But it might give you like a really weird, creepy feeling, and you might not know why.
Yes.
I don't know if that's what
I
happened.
I
but-
think that is kind of what happened, at least because I even remember the first time I watched it, I did kind of that thing. Like I vaguely remember just being like, "Wait, did that move?" I didn't like, "Oh no," because I
that's-
must be nuts. And now reading this, I'm like, "Okay, they did."
And I mean, in my opinion, that's a really high quality angle to add to a movie.
Yes, but it's for like 2 scenes, so it's kind of like, you know.
They didn't develop it enough to
Yeah.
let us know how crazy he really was. Actually seeing these
I also
wave at him and
could have done with like him having a sort of Tyler Durden kind of scene where you see him moving the shit around and then being in complete denial that he just did that.
Well, yeah, even not necessarily seeing him move it around, but have him like have a scene. Like, let's say, jumping ahead a little here, but like he went on a date with that mannequin after he says hi or whatever, and we see them talking. And at one point, she, you know, has her glass up, and then you cut back and it's down. Like things like that, where it's like, wait, you didn't show him move it, but we don't know, and like you kind of get into it a bit more. But
Okay, but you
Anyway.
need to show the whole date. Like, I need to see him dragging her and getting, like, cramming her into the car.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
20
Don't show
minutes
that.
set
So
up
you
as a-
have that question of how did she get there? But anyway,
I want to see her I want to see him drag a mannequin by the hair.
I mean, it's also possible that they didn't want to put too much emphasis on him potentially being crazy, because like the thing in that movie did actually happen. It's not like he imagined the pandemic that ensued.
But
So,
well, that
I don't know.
seems pretty clear regardless. Because
I don't know if you really
I mean-
emphasis him being crazy, then you might be like, how
Fair.
much of this is?
I suppose.
You guys are denying me my fun. I just want to see him drag a mannequin by the hair into a TGI Fridays and then bang it on the table.
I would
the
also,
way his career is going, you'll get that soon.
That's true.
I also would have liked if they did something where one of the zombies is just fucking with him and does kind of just move them around slightly, but like keeps them in the store or whatever. So like, you know, and he's watching, you know, Will Smith's doing all this research on the zombies, and this zombie's doing like research on how he's behaving to
Well, I
all
mean,
the shit he's
we get
moving
some of
around.
that.
jumping ahead a little bit, but yeah, they kind of did experiment with him.
we'll
but,
get-
yeah.
Yeah,
But
we'll get there.
this movie apparently until it didn't do so well, it did well enough. But they had talks of doing a sequel and a prequel and
Of
all
course,
kinds
a
of
prequel.
stuff. Which, yeah, I kind of, I'm more interested in this because they were talking about seeing the outbreak happen during the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds kind of awesome.
That does sound
Yeah.
That exists. It's called Fun in Balloon Land.
Yeah, that is an infection, and it does involve the parade, but it's not the same at all.
Oh,
A sequel though wouldn't. I couldn't really see that being. I mean, unless they did the angle of like we healed humanity. If it's just a generic vanilla zombies are outside the walls and we're inside the walls thing, it's like.
Well, no, the sequel supposedly involved a trip to Washington D.C. that saw an infected elephant escaping the zoo. That's a great
Please
start.
tell me that's not the main plot line.
That's all we know.
Because that's like Dumbo.
But
Well, Operation
also,
Double Drop, but
yeah. Also, on that note, this is another one of the time tradition of movies that started shooting before they fully had a script. So,
Oh, that's never.
yeah,
or I'm sorry, maybe it didn't start shooting. Maybe it
before
was.
it was greenlit.
Well, that's an even worse.
Well,
idea.
no, it was greenlit before it had a script. I think it was the thing. Anyway, that's that's what we got. Oh,
Well, I mean, if it's been rehashed as many times as you say, I guess need to greenlight it without a script. I don't know.
Yeah, because they know ultimately.
no, it does
where
matter. It says you have money, go make a movie, even though they have no plans on what the fuck they're doing. Oh yeah, and also
Well,
just
they might have just brought the book to the producers. And
Yeah,
been
or like,
look,
yeah,
Yeah,
fair.
based
Yeah,
on the
that's
book.
fair.
this-
Fair.
Yeah.
Will Smith.
Producer was like, I was elected to lead, not to read. Make the movie.
Yeah, the other thing it was a side note I enjoyed, which was apparently doing some of the scenes along the East River because of all the explosions and everything. It interrupted a recording of the Wonder Pets for Nickelodeon.
Oh damn, dude!
I love the sound of
Fuck,
that.
how dare they?
Those poor Wonder Pets.
No, but just imagine like somebody's in a booth like, "Oh, Jimmy, what are we gonna do?" And then just massive explosions and gunshots.
We're gonna shit ourselves.
Yeah. So, do you want to guess at how much money this movie had?
All of it. All of
Yeah,
the
see,
money.
this one's a little tough because they didn't spend a lot of money on that CGI. But it sounds like they
I
did
don't know.
spend money to put people in costumes.
They probably spent more for that than they should have.
Well, they were ripped off for that
Oh,
CGI.
yeah,
then.
definitely
Yeah.
ripped off.
Yeah.
The dude just got done from doing the Mummy 2 or whatever. Like,
I mean,
hey,
there was a lot of stuff to animate, though.
yeah. but
There was
this
more
is-
stuff to animate than there should have been.
Okay, but looking at those, okay, I'm not defending the movie, but this is 2008, 2007. This is the same year Transformers came out.
hmm
That CGI is like crazy, and there's way more moving parts in general.
Well, yeah, but it's
Because
a
it's
lot
not
easier
the
to animate and model things that are mechanical than organic.
Not to Michael Bay's specifics,
Yeah.
though. 'Cause the amount of moving parts on those Transformers.
Moving parts, yes.
yeah, I
but-
will say, work-wise, it's
That's
about
what
the same
I'm-
amount of effort, but it's easier to make it look better when it's mechanical
Yeah.
and so on.
yeah, no, I understand that, but the CGI in this movie was low tier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Low tier. It was like Spider-Man 2.
So,
it wishes.
brick scale wise,
Oh, there we go.
low tier for me is like Lawnmower Man 1.
What movie did that come out though?
When did that come out?
What, Lawnmower Man was in the 90s.
Yeah.
It's still crap.
No, but that's
But
like...
he's
But I'm
saying,
saying I'm scaling the
yeah. If you
quality
are
to
in
the
2000 and you're still getting Lawnmower Man style, you are
Oh,
either
yeah,
doing it
that's-
intentional
Yeah.
or somebody is messed up
But
in the head.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like this was Lawnmower style. I
Well,
thought that it was adequate.
It's low tier for the budget it was given.
I know it's a loaded question. Have you seen Disney's Dinosaur?
No.
Okay.
No. Is that why it was a loaded question? Because you were like,
Yeah,
Rick
I knew you
doesn't
weren't
see
gonna have
things.
seen it. Everyone else here has seen it.
Yeah.
I assume.
I haven't seen this.
Where
know
are you going
what?
with this,
I
counselor?
hate you all.
Where are you going with this, counselor?
I would say the CG in that film is better than this one.
Yeah, for the most part.
Moved more realistically. Just
I said that monkey, the urine-soaked monkeys.
I'm not talking
pretty
about
close.
the Love Monkey.
$90 million, Tony.
Thank you, Joe.
$100 million, Tony.
75 million.
85.
Suck my crunches.
$150 million.
Oh, okay.
150?
Yeah,
150.
I was like initially I was like 200, and I'm like, no.
Did they actually destroy New York and shoot in it for like a day? Like,
I mean,
They did sort of.
they definitely destroyed New York.
They did shoot several scenes actually in New York, which apparently Will Smith had, I think, on the red carpet publicly apologized for. He was like, everybody was just giving him the finger because they closed down, like maybe not Times Square, but some fucking streets.
Well, that part when he's in the
Washington
Museum
Maybe
of Art,
Washington.
that one I believe they could probably have just closed that room off, let him fish in the pond. But-
in the buildings, I don't think was the issue.
I mean,
It's
I'm
the
sure-
on the street
I'm
stuff.
sure when he was filming on the aircraft carrier, they probably bit off.
They might have had to close off the surrounding areas
on the
too.
Intrepid.
When he's playing golf, like
Yeah,
you
but
don't think
that's-
they'd shut stuff down, so you could.
But that's on an aircraft carrier.
Well, no,
Yeah.
you might have to shut down the surrounding areas so you
Correct.
don't get them in the shot.
Maybe.
Otherwise, you'd have to CGI them out, and that would be even more money.
Again, I think the bigger problem was the bigger traffic areas, like
Yeah, like Grand
wherever-
Central or Times Square.
Yeah, like one of those shots.
Broadway.
Want to guess how much it made?
It did well, I think. I think it did like a 400.
All right, I'm gonna say 350.
I'd like it to have made 500.
100 million?
Yeah,
420.
I see what you did there.
Just for the lulls.
Nice.
It made 585.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
it did well.
It did well. I mean, of course, that is also worldwide. Or might not have been quite as high, particularly in the States. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, see y'all next time.
Yeah. I mean, I feel stupid even asking this question. Joe, who was in this movie?
Well, there's this guy called Will Smith.
Will
That's it.
Smith.
The likeness of John Cena was used for the bad guy zombie, particularly in the jaw area.
Yeah, the zombie just came out apologizing to China for some reason. No.
Yeah, and then what we got? There was a lady in it, and there was a kid. The lady was
They don't
Alice
matter.
Braga as Anna.
There were 2 ladies and 2 kids.
There were.
There were 2 helicopters, and they crashed together.
Yeah.
And
I would argue there were 0 helicopters.
I don't.
A couple of cartoons mashed together, though.
One of those might have been a model at some point.
That's actually true. The helicopters did look
Well,
pretty decent.
there was at least a helicopter set because he did put his kids in there.
Yeah, there
Or his
probably
team.
was a real helicopter for a moment. I don't know if the actors ever
probably
actually
the
took off in it.
helicopter they were shooting from in other scenes, but whatever. Anyway, can we start this?
Yeah. It was a dark and stormy night.
Oh wait, I have seen this before with the 2 of you. I think in Rob's old closet of a bedroom. I think
I
we
thought
were
you were gonna
all
say in his
squished
closet.
on the bed watching from like his computer monitor or something like that.
Yuckers.
Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Apparently
I know I
have seen
definitely.
this before.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, like-
I don't remember where or when.
Like several of these movies,
just
you don't
remember
remember, but you did.
I do remember seeing this on TV at some point, and I think I watched pretty much the entire. Yeah, I watched from wherever it was that I started. I watched the rest of the way.
Yes.
Yeah, so it works for all of us.
Well, no, I mean like sometimes I'll see something on TV and I'll be like, no.
You'll finish before you started.
Yeah. All right. So we start off. We're listening to some people talk about baseball. Then we're listening to Emma Thompson talking about curing cancer by using the measles virus. You know, just tailored to kill cancer.
You take the bad man out and
Put a cop in
That's
there.
right. And that's why I've
Put
given
the police in
everyone
your body.
AIDS.
I mean that is a good analogy.
Cuts to 3 years later. Manhattan's abandoned, and Will Smith is still driving like an asshole through New York. In an environment that's really not good for you to drive like an asshole in. Because while the streets are for the most part clear, at least in the area he's in, there's deer everywhere. There still is, like, the streets are overgrown and whatnot, and he's just speeding around in this sports car. And he almost hits a deer.
that was his hunting strategy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Tokyo drift myself into a herd of deer.
In a Mustang. Yeah, that's going to last at least twice.
He straight up attempts to do a drive-by shooting on a deer that's running like full tilt. He has an adorable dog named Sam with him. That's probably my favorite thing about this movie. The deer run like hell through Central Park. He then's like, you know what? I should probably get out of the car and maybe make less noise and just focus on one deer.
Be slightly more tactical.
And, you know, he stalks that deer and he's like, all right, I'm going to get you. But it walks around the corner in Times Square, So he's like, all right, well, I'm going to walk around that corner from the other side. He sees the deer and he's like, I'm going to shoot you, deer. But this lioness is like, hell no, rawr, it's my dinner. Knocked my pen on the floor. I was so excited.
And then the lioness is like, I got this deer. And then she's tackled by a rapey Elmo.
What?
That does not happen.
It's Times Square.
No.
Times Square.
Times Square?
No,
Was that a movie?
the naked cowboy is still there.
Okay.
Times
All right, guys.
Square's a
This
place.
is great. We were for a
Wait, no. Do you not know?
I know Times Square is a place. I just have
Okay.
no idea what Rob's talking about.
Oh.
There's a lot of people that hang around there, like in costumes and stuff, to try and steal money from people.
Oh.
You know,
Okay.
there's always a guy there with an acoustic guitar in his underwear
Yeah.
singing really terrible songs.
There's always a creepy Elmo.
Yeah, there's generally somebody in like a sleazy Elmo or Cookie Monster costume that.
Any damn
I'm
way.
usually one of
Okay.
the Cookie
Anyway.
Monsters.
So, these other two, like a lion and a lion cub, show up, and they're like, "Hey, are we gonna have to kill you, or are you just gonna let us have this deer?" And then Will Smith's alarm watch goes off. He's like, "Fuck it, I gotta go. The
That's
title
good.
card's coming."
We weren't going to kill you anyway. We're
And the
just
lions
were
like
blender
good.
models. We don't have any bones. Or joints.
Weirdly,
Yeah.
the lioness is just ripping the throat out of this deer, but then the male lion kind of comes over the cub like, "Please don't kill her. We have a family."
That's well,
that's
when they're
literally
hunting
what
though.
happens.
That's basically what happens. Like the lioness makes the kill, and then he's
Yeah.
just like, "I'm bigger than you."
Yeah.
And
Oh,
he
yeah,
takes
but,
it
like-
from her.
It's more just like I know the lioness just does the killing
Yep.
and then basically like brings it the food, but it's more I'm talking about like how the male lion is like almost like it was human, comes over just like, "Please don't shoot her. We have a
Well,
family."
he was like,
I'm
"Are
pretty
you gonna
sure
fuck
that
any
was
of my women?"
Yeah, I saw it.
Then
more
I
as
have
the
no business
sup,
with you.
bro. You're gonna.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like, you a hyena?
Yeah, you after any of my ladies?
Because I hyena.
Either way, though, Will Smith has to run because the title card's showing up. I Am Legend. And then we cut to him in a different car. He's in like an SUV now. And he comes home and he's spraying like bleach or something over his steps. I don't know, cover his scent.
I think lighter fluid maybe.
Well, I think it was like bleach or alcohol or something.
Yeah, I think it was
Okay.
some
Yeah.
kind of disinfectant or something like that.
Makes dinner
Oh, yeah,
for
Son
his
of
dog.
Mask scent. Sorry.
And while he's doing that, you see there's a picture of him on Time Magazine on his fridge saying, like, "Is he our savior?" And he's,
Spoiler alert. Not really.
No.
he has to watch the news from that he's recorded from the time when there was news. And then he just goes and commits a fat chat foul. He makes this, like, what he calls disgusting, what seems to be a balanced meal.
Like rice and veggies
Yeah, there's some sauce on it.
with tomato sauce.
Yep. And he hands that to the dog, and he's like, "You better eat your vegetables."
In fairness, he says to the dog, "Just the way disgusting."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but is that disgusting, or is that what the conclusion we've come to?
I mean, it looked like a good meal.
Yeah, it's like rice and vegetables and
Disgusting.
I mean, it's not top tier meal, but it's like,
sauce. You can pick the vegetables out. John.
Yeah.
Just have rice and ketchup.
but the dog that
The
has to
dog.
eat meat,
Yeah,
he is
correct.
not allowed to
Correct.
pick the vegetables out.
Correct. And is that the fat chat
Well,
foul
yeah.
you're speaking of? Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
you're like,
I
you
fully
fucking
agree.
know who you're feeding here.
No, see, I'm torn on that one because I got the impression.
Those deers have feelings.
No, I got the impression he's like, "Dog, you need to eat these vegetables because we don't have a lot of food. Like, this is all we got because we didn't catch that deer."
There's food everywhere in that place.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. It's later on like, we find out he's holding out bacon.
no,
So
that-
I'm like, well, I got
That was-
nothing for you,
gotta
dude.
eat your vegetables because I've gone insane and now think you're my child and not my dog.
Yep.
That's fair.
And I'm trying to
Okay.
be a good dad.
That's what
I
really,
tell you to eat your vegetables.
that's what's going on, and he might get off on an insanity plea, but he still has broken the law, and he needs to go to fat chat court. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think he might be able to enter an insanity plea, but he should at least get a yellow card for fucking trying to make a dog eat vegetables.
Yeah, absolutely yellow card at the least.
I don't know enough about what dogs eat to know if they would.
Okay, so they got these sharp teeth.
Oh, I
right?
know that, but like dogs steal stuff off of plates all the
Dogs
time.
are technically
Yeah, dogs are
considered
pigs.
omnivores.
So
Yeah.
They have a
Pigs are
high
not dogs.
preference for animal instead of
Yeah.
vegetable.
But can you exclusively sustain a dog on a non-meat diet?
You can. It's not good.
Yeah, because like
Yeah,
I know you can
good.
with a cat, but
But yeah, if you do all the necessary other supplements that they'd be getting from the meat that they're not getting.
Yeah, my main source for all the, or well, not main source, I guess, but like the first thing that comes to my head is the news clip of the woman that was like, you know, oh, I raised my dog to be a vegetarian like me or whatever, and like I'll prove to you that he prefers this, and puts out the, you know, the vegetables and the meat, and it goes
thinking of
right
that.
to the meat. It's just like,
oh
so
no, he
that's-
must be confused. No, you're
like,
confused.
yeah, no,
You're retarded.
he's a dog. He's you know, all you put out is vegetables. He'll eat it, but.
He has 4 paws and a tail. You have mental retardation.
so
Also, was that what was the sauce he put on the vegetables?
Caviar.
it was like ragu.
Yeah, I think it was.
Was it just
pasta
ragu?
sauce.
Okay. Yeah, because I thought maybe it was supposed to be like meat sauce to kind of entice him, but
It was bolognese. We'll go with that.
anyway,
Vodka
Was it-
sauce.
I don't think they had any labels on the sauce.
yeah,
Just looked
doesn't
like
matter.
red jars.
It doesn't matter.
So he gives his dog a bath. They listen to some Bob Marley while he just spaces out, and it's like when the
Well, he's having like PTSD.
oh yeah
flashbacks.
Yeah.
yeah.
like bad.
He's like, he can't hear the dog barking at him or everything. Dog's like, yo, sun's going down. We got to put
Gotta
all
close
these
up shop.
steel shutters around our windows and whatnot.
That is legit the kind of reaction a companion animal is trained to do, is to try and snap somebody out of
Yeah.
just going off.
And choke you out if you're trying
Oh.
to do a Zambi.
Yeah.
Also, he did a pretty damn good job of, you know, boarding this place up. And
Oh yeah.
whatever the like shutters and stuff he put on all the windows. Good job.
Yeah, I've been
So,
asking
Fat
Sharon,
lot of fucking good.
Well,
they
let's
did.
talk about that though, because
I've been asking Sharon if I could put those here.
but we find out real quick that like this is where he lived with his family.
Yeah.
And he's continuing on with that. Which, yeah, okay, good. There's some sentimental value to that, I believe. But like, you have places like the mayor's house, the Intrepid, any one of those vaults on Wall Street, like all these places where you can be way more secure. The fort in Battery Park,
What are you
like
talking about? Nobody's at fault on Wall Street, pal.
Yes.
The only reason I can think that he would have been there is if he was established enough as a pathologist that he has a full biology lab in his basement
Oh, yeah, he
before the
does.
pandemic.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to find a replacement for that.
But you could move all of that to like,
Yeah.
yeah, you could go to like a place like the Intrepid that has lots of space and ceiling bulkheads.
All right, here's the problem with that, Joe.
What's that?
Tourism. You got ghosts.
He doesn't believe in God, so he's not going to believe in ghosts.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
he ain't
I'm
afraid of no ghosts.
that one. I give them a pass. It's not, you know, not the most ideal situation, but I get like it's a familiar spot. He has his setup
But
there.
it's,
Like
it's one fuck up away, as we find out.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, no,
absolute
It-
disaster.
it was not a great idea, and it turns out, you know, to be his downfall. But like, I get, you know, I could see someone doing that.
Like, were it me, I would set it up so that the lab itself was secure, and then I would go to the lab and then stay somewhere else.
That could also
But-
work. Yeah,
But then you reduce the amount of time that you have to work in the lab because you have to be in and out of there only during daylight. So it's not a tactically wise
it's
setup,
kinda-
but there are logistical concerns.
I guess the other argument I could think of against it is any of those places I suggest he would have to go and clear out, which he doesn't have to for his own house.
Yeah.
because we see what happens to everyone else in it.
You're gonna
'Cause
make
it's-
too big a deal of what converted from his old,
Well, yeah.
you know, bang dog.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, because that was my first thought when you were saying about living on the aircraft carriers. Like that would be a lot more secure, but you would have to go through and make sure it's empty, which that would be a nightmare.
And you'd have to, I guess, like if it's anchored to the dock, that could be a problem. But if you have the ability to get a little bit further away so you have that gap, almost basically using the water as a moat.
It's not
Yeah,
going
but that's-
anywhere, but there's a gangplank you could take out that would. It would be a challenge to get up it.
Well, like a zombie ladder is what I'm thinking. Like they could potentially get on that way.
Oh, there's probably not a whole lot of like 100% secure things, but that would
Right,
be
yeah.
pretty damn good.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a
But
good
see,
choice.
that goes to my thing. You were saying build the lab or whatever and go to it. Like one of the things that bugged me more was like him just taking John's over to like the video store to get a video. I'm like, the fuck
Well-
would you expose yourself to all this crap for a
Sanity.
video?
Sanity.
What do you
Well-
mean, Sandy? You can go for a walk. You don't need to.
You need to
force
do
yourself
something
have
other than
to-
that.
Well,
So-
I mean,
Uh-oh.
we've already.
I guess it
so
is his routine.
What would be the danger in the daytime, though? Other than like. Other than like.
I don't, That's the thing. I don't fucking know, dude.
all right. I'll grant you that there's wild
There's
lions.
Yeah. There's clearly, there's clearly enough where I'd be like, I don't
Next scene.
want to do this just to go watch Shrek again. You know?
And why wouldn't
No, he
you-
kept
what?
Shrek at home.
Shrek,
It's-
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
that's-
he kept Shrek at home.
That's in the Criterion collection.
It also kind of bugged me a little that he put all those shutters up, and then when we see him leave in the morning, he didn't close the gate behind him. I was just like I know that's not much of a barrier, but come on.
So, you see, he starts his night by sleeping with a gun and his dog in his bathtub, while just everything outside is making all these horrible noises.
It's a lot of pig fucking.
Is that like they all just found the lion? The zombies are just like, oh fuck, there are lions here. Oh.
I almost wonder how much of that was like in his head or not.
Could be.
Yeah.
Because we find out later, like, apparently they're not really hanging around his place.
Yeah, that is
Sort
kinda
of,
how
maybe?
I
I don't
interpreted
know.
it.
Yeah. So we have a flashback while he's in the tub of him trying to evacuate his family from New York City. He's like, I can stay here. I can fix this. The rest of, my wife, my kid, my dog, they all got to go.
And they will.
They're driving in the car and, they're driving away and his wife is saying something to him, some sort of retort when a man just slams his face against a windshield. And then Will wakes up and he's back in bed and he's sleeping next to his watch and his gun.
And his dog.
Mm-hmm. And,
Adorable dog.
yeah. Now this scene I like. He's working out. He gets
Oh,
Will
he is
Smith doing some pull-ups. He's got a weird painting next to him of a man ripping his own head off. Then he's like, treadmill time. And you're like, all right, Will Smith's on a treadmill. Dog better be on a treadmill too. Dog is on a treadmill. Hell yeah.
And so is Joe Pesci
What?
from The Super.
Mhm.
See episode Commercial Black of our podcast.
All right. So you see another one of his hobbies here in his basement. He tries to cure this crazy disease with by injecting his blood into rats and various serums he's been working
An
on.
extract, but yeah.
And a bunch of the rats are dead. A bunch of the rats are like zombie rats now. But one rat number 6, he's just hairless. He's like, hey, you got any cheese or anything?
I'm still infected,
It was
but not
weird
as
that
bad.
It was weird they chose Emo Phillips to voice him, though.
Yeah. Mr. Butterfingers.
I think it made perfect sense.
Also, the rats, we had to CGI the rats.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a
Where-
rat to react like
Can't-
this.
No,
Find
yeah.
a rat in New York.
Yeah.
No, that is one.
Hey.
You're not gonna get them to react like that. I give them a bit more leniency on that one. Like,
And
that would be difficult
No.
and expensive to do animatronics.
John can answer more to this than I can, but like when we get our rat shipments at work, you just open up a crate of the rats real quick. There's just a bunch of rats in there going, "Rah!"
Yeah, but they're not
Oh,
like
yeah.
trying to smash their way through the glass
Yes.
psychotically.
There's ways you can get it done.
Yeah.
To get a hairless rat to be the one that is recovering shouldn't have been that hard.
That would have been totally doable.
What about,
Yeah.
How about
Yeah.
getting a rat, a hairless rat?
Depends on what state you live in. So
The state
What about-
of
also state of mind.
denial.
What about this one?
Yeah.
Hypothetically,
I don't know
How
about
are you right
Connecticut.
now?
John, again, would know more than I do.
I mean, since
We're so close to the
technically
city, though.
oral sex is illegal in Connecticut, I think probably interspecies is not.
All right.
on the
Well, then I
menu.
apologize to all of you
Remember,
breaking the
for
law.
the
so
oral
many
sex I've
times.
committed on you and other parties.
I'm okay with it.
How you
So-
feeling, John?
Shame.
Okay.
Oh, that went around the wrong way.
So Will Smith leaves his house with his dog, and he goes to his gun/dog biscuit cabinet,
Should not have mixed.
gets himself his AR-15 and a new tennis ball for Sam, and he goes down to the video store. And the video store is just fucking crazy town. He's got mannequins all over the place. He's talking to all of them. They all have names. There's a new mannequin there that he's attracted to. He asks Hank behind the counter, like, you know, who's the new
Hank is
girl?
also a mannequin.
Yep.
Just to be clear.
No, there's not really anybody else in this.
Yeah.
So yeah, Hank doesn't say anything because he's a mannequin. We do meet Fred, who will become important later, but he really likes Fred's sweatshirt. He says, "Don't let that, don't set that down anywhere, because maybe I'll take it."
Because Elmo will rape it. Elmo will take your sweater, hold it down on a park bench, and rape it to death.
God damn it, Mr. Noodle.
Rob,
And then
let it go.
we just cut to he's harvesting crops.
Tony? I can't let it go.
He needs to tell his story.
Yeah, I need to live my truth.
Okay, but we don't need to.
You know that face of Elmo in front of the fire?
Yeah, see,
That was the face he made.
I just a good time for me to clear up a thing I never got through
Climax.
properly with Red Dawn. I understand. Apparently, there's a whole trauma story going on here, but that's a strong spice to just sprinkle into the rest of this nonsense we got going on
No, it's not.
without any explanation or follow through.
We have so much longer to go.
Tea
Oh,
spice.
God. Let's wrap it up.
All right. So, he's harvesting corn Fallout 4 style while trying to explain the ineffectiveness of his game with the mannequin woman
The dog.
to the dog. And you're like, okay, he's off his rocker.
Yeah.
Um,
Been alone for a while.
yeah.
It would not take me 1,000 days to do that.
No,
It
and
would take me like an hour.
See, and maybe this is my
I
problem.
mean, I already do this.
Yeah, I do this now,
Yeah.
so I'm like, okay, he's not that nuts, you know.
Yeah.
It's when you're really like, if you truly believe they're responding, that's when it gets dicey. But
So who do you think of this table?
As far as till we crack?
Insanity without other...
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
My housemate has actually come downstairs to see if I was still alive because he hadn't seen me in 4 days.
Yeah.
it's
yeah, I don't have housemates, so I mean,
it's
we're doing
pretty.
that.
I love being in my
I put
basement.
my game pretty high.
I mean, the moment you took the people out of the island and just let me roam around, fuck yeah, I'm putting all kinds of stuff. I'm making up scenes. I'm making up people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna have a whole fucking soap opera going on
I'd
there.
have
am not
burned
gonna
those
put on a
mannequins
shirt.
day one.
I'm gonna fucking storm the Lego store and just like at least a year of just putting Legos together and until my computer craps out, like just video games and that alone.
Yeah.
That's true. I probably won't go outside for a while just to get food. Anyway,
Yeah, I probably wouldn't even leave that video store for like a good month or two.
I mean, I'd have died, 100.
so we cut to we're on the Intrepid now, and we're hitting golf balls off the tail fin of a SR-71.
Because, you can.
Yeah, it's fine.
I mean, yeah.
Inadvertently pisses off Wolverine, who's chilling out in cargo hold.
I was gonna go with the Jetfire joke.
No, it'd make me sad.
So this is where Will Smith falls and just breaks his arm for no reason, and
Yeah,
Well,
but
the jet shits out of
fire catches him and farts.
farts out a parachute. Yeah.
So, the dog is like, this is so fucking dull. And he's like, oh, look, there's a deer. Can we go kill that? And Will Smith's like, hell yeah, we can. So they're chasing this deer. The deer's like, I gotta run in this random dark building.
Mm-hmm.
And the dog's like, well, I'm in hunt mode. I'm
going
gonna
to be
chase
just
him in
as
there.
dumb as the deer.
Will Smith's like, God
Again.
damn it.
I think that dog is like, I better get some fucking meat tonight. So
Yeah.
And then
This is
we'll
happening.
That's true,
be just
'cause-
as dumb as the dog.
That's right. We skipped over. He is going to make the dog eat twice as many vegetables tonight. So he's like, we better get that damn deer. So, this scene is fairly spooky because he's like, I need my dog, but I know that this is just a terrible idea to go in here. He's shining his flashlight, but he's like, light pisses these things off. And we still haven't seen them yet, so we're still kind of scared. And like we hear a yell when his light goes down a hallway, so he's like, "Okay, I got to be careful. I need the light to see, but I have to put my hand over it to not have the light out too much." And he sees a bunch of blood, and he's like, "Shit, I hope that's not my dog. I'm gonna follow this up the stairs." Turns out it's the deer that they just killed, but they're not eating. They're just, they didn't like that it was moving around, I guess.
Well, no, that was just the deer's head.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
They
okay.
ate the rest of the deer already.
So we are introduced to our villains for this film. In what is essentially about 10 of them in a room, standing around in a circle, looking like they're jacking off.
No, they see the problem is they're all trying to get that "Hooked on a Feeling" song started. So they're
The
just
Hooga Shaka.
they're just in a circle doing that over and over.
Wait,
So-
they are video game fight characters in their opening animation where they're just kind of shuffling back and forth.
Yeah, they're on an animation loop of
Yeah.
shuddering and hyperventilating.
It's honestly, they're doing like the 1930s cartoon,
Yes.
cartoon bobbing up and down.
Spooky,
I mean,
scary skeletons.
I liked the concept because you immediately know that these things are not normal. There's not really any human behavior being presented at all. And you know that if they're not doing that, you're
Yes, there is
probably...
It's the frat boy circle jerk.
Other than that. But
They were
if
playing
they're not
around a
doing
Ookie
that,
Cookie.
then you know that they're going to be doing something you don't
couldn't
want
see
them
it.
I was just gonna say, if they showed the biscuit in the middle, it would have ruined everything.
So,
Cookie's right off camera.
yeah. I will say, like, I don't mind the circle jerk part. Like, that's just a good time with everybody.
Yeah.
But no, but like,
Joe's always down
I
for
like
that.
it's like, okay, they're not sleeping. They're just in the dark, while the sun's up. They're just kind of, their minds are off, but their body's still like breathing heavy and whatnot. I'm okay with that. The problem
That's
is,
pretty much how my wife describes me sleeping.
problem is you look at like these monsters, you catch just a glimpse of them, but you're like, okay, so it looks like the animator like put up his base like concept artist sketch where he just drew like the plus and the circle for the head and like a little bit more detail. He's like, what do we want to add to this? And the director was just like, no, that's perfect.
What do we want to add to this? It's already in theaters.
Yeah, so it's like, so we didn't pick like anything with its hair, clothes, any unique markings on it. No, it's just a pale gray default monster.
Man number 2, put a Gollum filter on it, and you're done.
And they're not even like slightly different from each other. It's
Yeah.
the same model.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like man number 2 from Blender.
There's one that wears a shirt, and there's a girl one.
That is why he's the leader.
Yeah, and then there's just the rest are copy and
See,
pasted.
this I think is a good example of why I think I see movies very differently than other people. Because to me, this scene, like, it conveyed the information that I needed, and my eyes didn't need to
Oh, but here's the
see
thing,
realism.
The rest of us aren't robots. We're not
Yes.
weird android robots.
I'm just explaining how my species is different
I
than
have
yours.
skin and
You
bones,
didn't need
blood,
realism, you said?
semen.
In this case, I didn't need to see the realism. I was given the information that I needed, and that was
So,
all I
I'm not
needed
saying-
to take
Okay,
from it.
I
then
needed to
will
see
give you
realism.
a sheet of paper with the information you need. Don't
Yeah.
bother seeing the
I needed to see imagination is what I needed. It was like,
Well,
'cause you're
realism
like-
would have helped because every time they're like up in his face, that like if there was any tension, there's that voice in the back of my head that's like, it's just a model.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is a problem. But I mean, they're like, so they're like, make something that's not a zombie, and they're like, well, what does it do?
Let the zombie.
It's not a zombie.
Yeah,
And that's
everything a
it.
zombie does, but it's not
Yeah,
actually
well, yeah, and
a
that's
zombie.
it.
Not a zombie.
As I said, while watching, they're supposed to be vampires. They act like zombies, but they look like the mummy from the Brendan Fraser movie.
Yeah, they're like, I need just do something beyond the basic default. It's like
And-
it's the white guy with the acoustic guitar of movie monsters here, And
I can explain the number one thing of where they definitely went wrong and could have fixed this way easily. They are, you joked about, the one guy with the jacket or whatever, but they are all wearing clothes, but apparently everyone died wearing the same, like, tan garbage that dripped. And, like, there's no color, there's no anything to, add a little something to the scene.
Yeah,
so it's
called
just
PG-13 special.
yeah. Well, but you could have had, like, this guy's in a bright yellow jacket or something, and this girl has a pink top on that ripped.
Anthony.
I definitely admit that would be a hell of a lot more creepy.
They only had $150 million to work with.
now, if they all wore that same like generic thing, but at one point he said like because they all escaped from the hospital, because they were all patients there. That's something I could work with.
Yeah,
that would give
But
something
nope.
to it. Although,
They
even
will.
if that
It's
was
like-
the case, choose a better color than just this pale kind of whatever burgundy or what. Like it's not that much different than the color of their skin, and it's just crap.
All right. Problem number 2 with these things. They have
This.
well, it's just 2 for right now.
All right.
But they have a bad case of wrong mouth. Because if you're not going
that's
to
the
animate,
mummy. Yeah, that's the
if you're not
mummy.
going to animate the mouth properly, then go a little further and make the mouth unusual. Maybe they don't have they don't have cheeks anymore, and their jaw can unhinge to be really large or something.
You said
Yo.
unusual. I mean, for early 2000s, this was business as usual, but I don't know about 2008 or 7.
Well, yeah, this was around that time where we, especially because the earlier CGI, where we did have
I know who to blame for this.
what?
Akiva Goldsman. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's the one.
But we did have that fascination, like with the Mummy or whatever, where it's like we could do CGI people, so we could stretch their mouths out to be creepy for like everything. I don't know what that was about.
So,
but
Fad.
we could have done like Blade 2, where they had those
the mouth
vampires with
bifurcates.
the mandibles and stuff. Like that would have been something.
and for all the shit I gave Blade 2, at least those things, they looked unique.
Yeah, it was interesting.
And I believed that they were there. So every time this thing screams at Will Smith like it's going to attack, I'm just immediately like, the stakes are ruined. I'm taken out of the scene. I'd rather just be a man, air dusted gray, yelling at him and trying to tackle him.
Even if you wanted to CGI his mouth to do that,
Yeah.
just at least have a real fucking man there, like real eyes, so it's a real thing looking at a real person, or
So
I don't understand this stupid
I don't understand the mouth thing, but I'm saying if that's what you want to do it. But like you could still have people standing in there once in a while, so I feel like there is
I'm stealing one of these.
you're sharing a scene with a physical
You guys
thing.
can help yourselves. Just,
I want yours.
that's fine.
Um,
You can have my little red balls.
Kind of wondering.
How you doing?
I'm almost wondering if this is like partially like childhood trauma blinding me to what you guys are describing, because all I just saw was like this unhinged rage, and like my visual needs didn't need to be. I didn't need to see any more than that. I just needed to know that they were unhinged, rage, powerful, gonna kill him.
So yeah, I think we might be a little bit more like monster connoisseurs, and I think we expect a little more.
I'm
from
not a
our
connoisseur
monsters.
of really anything.
We demand a higher Zagat rating of our monsters.
Yeah.
But it's also like
if not in quality, at least in power and
But also, like I said, like there is that thing for me where I don't need it to be 100% realistic, but at least put in more of an effort. Because if you're fighting, if it's like fucking Space Jam, he's running around like, oh no, Bugs Bunny's after me. Like no part in my head is like that's a threat because it's a real thing that might kill him.
Yeah.
It's a cartoon that was
yeah.
put
It
in
was
post.
it was very clear that it was not actually there. It was CGI. There was no uncanniness to the valley where you're like, is that? No, it was just that's just a
Yeah,
CGI.
that's the thing that's weird for me to hear, because I did not have the Space Jam kind of reaction that you guys seem to be describing, and I'm trying to figure out what it is that changes my perception versus yours.
Well, a lot of people didn't have our reaction either. Like
Oh,
a lot of
okay.
people saw this movie and thought the monsters were cool.
Yeah, I mean, they looked legit to me. It
Yeah,
didn't
I
look
will
like
say
bad
the
the
CGI.
uncanny valley part of it actually kind of helps in this scenario because they're supposed to be weird fucking things. But
And this is where I want you all to know that this episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.
So,
better health
um,
till they pay us. It's better
Oh,
health.
yeah, better balls.
all right.
Better balls.
So he finally, moving this along, Will Smith finally finds Sam the dog. He's hiding under a desk. He's like, Sam, get out of there. Sam's like, there's a fucking monster right behind you.
It was literally a monster mash.
Yep. Yeah. Monster Mash attempts to jump at him. He just shoots the shit out of it. All the other monsters are running after him. And they're about to catch him, and he just jumps out a fucking window, crashes on the pavement below.
you
He
got to
was
do what
actually
you got to
grabbed
do.
by one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because he took it with him.
Like, it was bitten in the neck, I think he said.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
so-
he was saying afterwards that he remains immune to airborne and bites.
So these sort of vampires, when the sun hits them, they die like right away like a vampire. But they don't. They're supposedly they burn up, or they at least have a reaction. But I didn't see it in the effects. It doesn't really look like much is happening. Like he darkened a little bit. But
Yeah,
like,
it seems almost more like a rash than it's
Yeah.
something that would be killing him. But
I mean, like, at least in this regard, this is legit photosensitivity where you will feel pain and all kinds of other things.
yeah, again,
And you don't necessarily see a physical change. Like, they don't start smoking.
you don't. I
They
don't
kinda
need
did, though.
smoking. They don't.
It looked like he was doing
They
like
did a
the
little
ashy
bit.
thing.
Oh, maybe a bit, but although you could actually, if it was really, might have skin flaking. But again, I think part of the problem is again we're
It's his
we're not
Wolverine-esque super eczema.
we're not having any. We're not having any fun with like the coloring, so it's all just like it's maybe more realistic that way, but it's not visually captivating, which you kind of want to do for movies.
I'm wondering if they just gave me enough information that my imagination just filled the rest in. Because, like, I
What?
perceived, I think, more than what was actually on the screen. It's
Maybe-
weird.
The AI has become sentient.
Well, no, but here's the thing: like, I have that kind of thing too, where
Yeah.
like there are plenty of movies that I enjoy
their
because
heads
it's
right.
enough to get my imagination
I don't
going.
Yeah.
like them,
But I
want
don't
them.
give that credit to the
Good
movie
job.
if I have to make the movie fun in my head.
Oh, I didn't put any effort into it. My mind just went with it.
So,
But
all right.
that is your mind putting effort into it.
Not
Guys.
Right,
consciously.
but it's not conscious. Like,
Oh,
I didn't
yeah,
have
but-
to try to like it, is what I'm saying.
Guys, I just
Anyway.
want to take this time to let you know the episode is sponsored by
By pet
Better health.
Oh, better health.
He's going back and saying we're nuts. Anyway,
So-
I mean, I am.
doubling down.
Will Smith's like, well, now that I know where some of these fuckers are, I'm gonna put out my ghost trap here.
Because I need a human trial.
Yeah.
So he makes a a snare trap with a bag, and we can't just put a dummy in the bag when it goes off. We got to
Bag it,
CGI
tag
the
it.
bag.
Yeah, this is the one that did bug me the most, and especially when you called it out. I was like, "Yeah, what the? Why the fuck didn't we just have a tarp,
we
like
gotta
a real fucking tarp?"
So, just to set it up, he's talking to the dog. He's like, "Dog, you fucked up. They bite you. You can get infected. I can't." At this point, that's all we know about his special condition. But it puts the thought out there. He's like, "All right, I'm going to set up this trailer to a rope. It'll fall and it'll just drag the bag with the monster out. And to bait it, I will put some of my blood down on the ground because they like blood. Because they're sort of vampires."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's meat. It's blood. Like, sharks aren't vampires just because they like blood. But they do like blood.
Well, in the book, they are basically vampires. I don't know if they ever specify. Like, they're not supposed to be vampires, but they're basically vampires.
they're just assholes.
I get what you're
I've never read the book either, but
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I've heard they are supposed to be more vampire, less zombie.
Vampires.
I get what you're saying,
Vampire.
Brick, but to me, it's looking like the creators can't decide: are they zombies? Are they vampires? What are they? And it looks to me like they don't know, or not, or don't care.
Well, they're supposed to be more vampires, but I think this is also like this was around the rising of the vampire or of zombies. So we just kind of leaned into that.
So either way, in a fairly suspenseful setup, you hear some clicking and the trap gets set off. And then the suspense is immediately ruined because rather than just put a dummy in a damn bag and pull it out of there, they CGI a spooky ghost fucking monster man flying around.
I thought we were watching The Frighteners again.
I mean, I literally... I'm choking on my airheads. I'm so mad. Someone else take over. Rob, tell me why it sucks.
So, all right, this dummy. So, it looks like all right. If 1997 tried to make the Dementors from Jurassic or holy
Harry
shit.
Potter.
From Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
You want me to try?
yeah, please.
The Dementors are one of my
He's
favorite
trying to
parts of
work at
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park reference.
That's the worst part of
Subconsciously.
prison. Dementors.
The Dementosaurus. No, this was definitely a scene where I was like,
All right, somebody else.
that doesn't look normal, but I was okay with it being not what you would expect.
But see, here is again, as Joe pointed out, like this is where like we're just like we could do it in CGI, so let's do it in CGI.
Yeah.
You could have just had a fucking taken one of those mannequins
yeah.
we know you have,
Yeah.
thrown a tarp on it, and pulled it with a
Or
wire,
a
and it
stunt
would have
person.
Yeah.
stunt person. That's danger involved, and I see why they might not do that. But like, you don't need that because we never see this fucking thing in the tarp. It's just a tarp you're looking at. You could have done
But it's
that
supposed
with a
to be
real fucking tarp.
Flailing.
Flailing around.
Well, you can make it
inside the
flail,
tarp.
but I'm,
Get a
you know,
fan.
you can make it flail. You fucking, you know, put a small.
They
toy,
have dummies that
you
flail,
know,
too.
yeah, like there's ways of doing that easy enough.
Stuff it with bumbleballs.
Yeah,
Okay. Remember in Predator where they catch the predator in the net?
yeah,
They figured it out.
yeah.
All right, so he takes this. Turns out it's a lady zombie. Takes her back to his lab. Does a little science on her. She's breathing super heavy. Temperature's really high.
Yeah, buddy.
As
Also-
one does when one gets
Yeah.
captured by Will Smith.
As a quick rewind, it should be pointed out. This is when we see Jacket Zombie hangs out in the doorway for
Yeah.
a moment.
And yeah, oh, that's right. Yeah, because Boss Zombie, he tries to go outside even to save this zombie, and he gets burned a little bit. But he's like, "I can take it," and he's like, "No, I can't."
Yeah.
But you can see like he's thinking. He's got something going on upstairs.
Anger.
It's set in. You know, Will Smith makes a note of it.
Like when he yells, right? He like
Yeah.
growls
Yeah.
or whatever. And to me, it sounded like a little bit like the No from Planet of the Apes. Like that's what I thought was happening.
It's
I thought he
kind of
was
what
saying
is
no,
happening.
yeah.
Close enough.
At some point, I thought he was gonna start talking in this movie, but like dumb monster talk.
I will qualify my next argument with, I know we have to have a movie, but if we're in a lab, we're talking about their physiology. Can we answer a few basic questions like what do they eat? How are they still alive? What food are they getting into? Are they like orcs where they photosynthesize now? No, because they don't like the sun.
Yeah. I think that is somewhat established.
Wait, since when do orcs photosynthesize?
In Warhammer, they do.
Oh,
They have-
fuck that.
Yeah.
All right,
But
let's-
it gets around a lot of things when they're like traveling in space.
First of all,
We
John,
get these
let us
guys-
not besmirch the name of Lord Cavill at this table. We don't want to draw
I forgot
his
he's
ire.
involved in that now.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I think it is, you know, somewhat set up that basically they ate all the other people, and then when those ran out, it seems like they're also feasting on things like deer and shit like that.
At some point, they
Whatever
probably
they
turned
can
cannibal.
get.
Yeah,
I
it's-
guess,
yeah.
but like, I'm not buying it. They're running their body in like this high physical state at all times, and I
So,
get
I mean, they should be like mice where they just die very quickly, no?
yeah, but we do need to have. A
I mean,
movie.
yeah, that's
So I would have accepted any kind of bullshit.
Really
I just
paid
want
for
some
what?
bullshit to be there.
no, I get it.
Zombies are undead.
This
That's
is
kind of how I
one.
went
But
with
these
it.
ones aren't.
This is one where I
They're
am
GMOs.
perhaps closer to that thing where Brick doesn't have trouble with the CGI and stuff. Like I often like once you're like it's not a human thing. I don't know how it works, so whatever you want to tell me, I kind of just have to go with it.
Yeah.
I know you have a bigger problem with following that line. I get that, but
Well, most of us can agree that CGI is objectively bad for the
Well,
time.
yes.
So
It's not.
he injects her with the serum he gave the rat, and she like
Love potion number 6.
yeah, her pulse starts to slow down. You know, it's starting to look good for a sec. Then she gets turbo pissed at Will Smith,
A
then
rage
dies.
gasm.
And he's like, fuck, you know, like my vaccine didn't just immediately work on her and cure her of everything.
Yeah, my RNA virus transmutations would take forever to actually assimilate itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a, you know, like D&D where you have a cure disease potion. Like, it's a fucking vaccine.
Yeah, again, we're quickly leaving realism in the
Well,
dust.
yeah.
I mean, they had to speed it up because to actually do a study of that, they would
Well,
have had
this
to
is-
have a
but
whole
just
lot more
a
content.
basic time passed kind of thing.
Yeah, that
But-
could have worked.
This is also well, you would miss that great jump scare though, which leads to
Yeah,
my
we'll go
bigger
with
problem, which is why the fuck isn't she strapped down more? Because
Yeah.
like these things can kill.
Oh, that was a jump scare?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So-
Like she doesn't have like a strap on her neck or on her chest, and like if you know people can. Well, I mean, I guess he's immune, but like they could still fucking rip your artery out
Because
or
if she
some
had a
shit.
strap on her chest, Tony, you couldn't see those sweet CGI titties when she was breathing it.
Yeah, I was wondering. I'm like, why are her breasts deflating? But it was like supposed to be jiggle animation.
It was very poorly.
It was very
animated breast
poorly.
cable.
It was good.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah,
I just
that's
thought
one
it
that
was like
missed
a hard
me.
carapace.
Well, you guys just aren't artistes.
I guess.
Connoisseur.
Art-
You're not,
My-
you're not real film critics.
Or my focus was elsewhere. Yeah. Anyway,
He was ripped in this movie, though.
So
He sure was.
he's talking to his computer now. He's like, my dog's a fuck up. We went into a hive of them. One of them behaved weird, and I still can't pass my immunity on to others. It also
yeah,
doesn't
they have no
discuss-
humanity left.
Yeah, it doesn't discuss in this film like, okay, so he's immune, but like he doesn't seem to be doing any experiments for like making it like taking a live deer, giving it a vaccine, and then trying to make it into a zombie and seeing if the vaccine works. You know, like the route you would probably actually have to go.
No, because his ultimate plan is to resurrect the mush that he pulled from the helicopter that was his wife and daughter.
Wow.
We'll get to that.
Well, I suppose the thing is, like, there's not much of a point in that because anyone that's still human is immune.
Well, like if you captured a deer and you did that, I imagine your approach would be see if they deal well with contracting the disease after they
if you
get
can make them
attacked.
immune. Yeah.
But if they get attacked, they're going to be eaten. Also, you'd have to track that deer.
Well, no, he's got a fucking
I see.
laboratory of
Okay.
rats. He can get the virus.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can get your back.
Oh yeah. So anyway,
It's very poor science.
Actually-
bottom line.
yep.
I don't know.
He might. That could have potentially introduced the opportunity for a mutation. Because if it's already in hosts fully developed, that's one thing. But if you're intentionally spreading it to hosts that hadn't already been infected, you
Yeah,
could
baby.
develop a mutation.
That's how I roll.
I think
So anyway.
that's the whole point of this movie is that
You
the
wear
cure for
protection. I'm not
cancer
gonna.
mutated. And
Right.
But he's
like,
saying it could mutate further and then become a threat to him
even worse.
when
if-
now it
yeah.
currently isn't.
Become like a real dude.
Yeah.
So either way, he's got to go.
Like, what?
He's go ahead.
Keep my virus out your motherfucking mouth.
Okay.
He
think
goes
that's what
to
he's
sleep
getting
about
at. Okay, everybody.
dreaming about slapping the virus at the Oscars.
Okay, everybody. The man deserves some dignity.
no, he doesn't.
No, he did.
So-
He shat it all over that stuff.
We cut back to the colonel evacuating his family. By the way, this
And
Will
his
Smith
pal.
is both a doctor and a colonel. He's got all the titles.
He's Colonel Doctor.
He's Colonel Doctor.
Colonel Doctor.
President.
Colonel Dr. Robert. So we cut to him trying to evacuate his family. They got to go through a line, at a dockside heliport where there's a woman crying blood trying to get him to take her baby with him.
But she's not infected.
She's not affected.
No. She's fine.
We're not saying.
Well,
That's how you know she really loves him.
I believe she was screaming, "My child's not affected."
Oh,
But
So it's basically like, I know I
just here
can't go.
crying blood all over him.
Well, yeah, it's. I'm sure that's how it would be. Like,
It's a mom in
yeah,
distress.
like I'm gonna die. I've accepted it, but please get my kid safe.
So,
before I eat them.
freaking,
And then she goes to Dave and Buster's.
they
Hates her child.
they have these eye scanners that can tell if you're infected or not, right? And so they're giving everyone one scan, and the ones that don't pass are being pulled aside. And Will Smith's wife doesn't pass, and he's like, "I'm Colonel Doctor. I demand you scan her again." And they do, and she passes. So they get let through. Now, but all those guys are just like, how many other people that failed we could have just
No,
scanned?
they're
Well,
good
yeah.
soldiers. They're not
Yeah.
even thinking about it.
They're not, but I guarantee most of that line is gonna start
Yeah.
a fucking riot.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Like, do me again, motherfucker.
Yeah. So
You mess with one of us, you mess with all
he
of
puts
us.
his family in the helicopter, and we have a sort of like Captain Reynolds situation here, where you see he was at least somewhat a man of faith in that he prayed with his family,
Burt Reynolds.
and then what happens right afterwards is probably where he lost his faith. But either
I
way,
didn't even realize that's what he did there.
Sometimes God gives you a goat.
Yeah.
Sometimes he blows your wife up in a helicopter.
I think that was more. I think that was more his wife,
Mm.
and I think he was kind of. I took
he was
it-
going along with
He
it.
was
Yeah.
slightly annoyed that they weren't just going.
Yeah.
Which, if they had, then maybe they wouldn't have.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Which
What happened?
I was too, because I was like, whatever their religious beliefs, I don't want to shit on that, but like
You got to go.
everybody else, all those military guys around there, the pilot, everyone else in that helicopter should have been like, hey, close the fucking door, we need to go.
Yeah.
Now.
But he's Colonel Doctor.
Yeah, he is
Yeah.
Colonel Doctor. They can't. You know.
Well, yeah, at the end of the day, he's like, my name's on the poster.
He is the science.
We're doing this.
So
Technology.
his daughter is like, "Oh, take Sam. Sam will keep you safe." And Sam's an adorable puppy at this point. And you're like, well, I guess in the long run, it's good that he got Sam. Sam got to live longer. But either way, Sam was fucked.
Do you think in the last few minutes, the daughter was like, I guess I should have kept Sam? It's the only thing keeping us safe.
It cuts back to him in real life. He's talking to, well, it's in present day.
Present, yeah.
He's talking to Sam. He's like, "It's my birthday today. You going to sing happy birthday to me?" For
I'm a
like
dog.
the 100th time in this movie, Sam's like, "I'm a dog." It's not how this works. I would be interested, this is a sidebar, to know how crazy Sam was as a dog, or if he's just like, everything's normal, everything's above board.
I don't think.
Because he's like, "I got my master.
That's
I'm good."
yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Feeds
it.
me vegetables. That kind of sucks. but we kill deer sometimes.
Yeah, I get to hunt things. It's get to run around,
Yeah, I think-
go for trips.
Yeah.
They're pretty chill on all that kind of stuff.
I never have to go to the vet. It's pretty good.
So
if
they-
somebody pulls my tail, my master shoots them.
they go, that's at the Met, right, where they have that Egyptian monument.
Think so?
Yeah, they're at the Met
Oh, wait.
fishing in a koi pond. Yeah. And then he's driving home, and he sees Fred the mannequin in a spot where Fred the mannequin shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And we get a hell of a freak out.
Because he's a mannequin, and mannequins
Yeah,
don't
which
move.
is any spot other than the one
He's still.
he
And
was
it's
placed
interesting
in.
because he's trying to accept that they're real people. Like, he's trying to tell himself that, but at the same time, he knows, he's like, "I didn't put you there."
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a good crazy freak out.
Yeah.
I do like this
He
scene.
does legitimately question his sanity at
Yeah.
this point.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just yelling at Fred the mannequin. It was just like, "What are you doing there? What the fuck?" And
What are you
he's just
doing
like,
out here, Fred?
No, no, no. Goes
If you're
and gets
real,
his
you
gun.
better fucking tell me right now.
Yeah, he advances on it with an assault rifle.
Apparently, he thinks that they have that undercover cop rule. Like, are you police? You have to tell me. Are you real?
So yeah, he has to kill Fred because Fred does not pass the "Are you a Cylon" test. And then he's like, "Well, I better check Fred's body. Maybe
Maybe
there's
Fred
some
was alive but couldn't tell me.
some experiment I could do with it or something." he walks over there, and turns out
Yeah.
John Cena zombie, the one with the shirt, is like, "Hey, I saw what you did to my girlfriend. Think we're gonna do that to you." And they can learn. They know how to set snare traps now too.
Mm-hmm.
And he steps in a puddle, gets picked up by a snare, bangs his head all over the ground,
Hey.
bleeding acrylic paint from the back of his head. And
Yeah.
Sam's just like, "Yo, you're up in the air. I'm a dog. I got nothing. I'm going to bark at you."
I'm gonna bark at you till it come down.
Apparently all afternoon because
Yep.
sun's about to go down when he wakes up.
Sun's going
I
down.
did forget
big
to look this up earlier. I
Uh-huh.
wanted to know, like, how long can you stay upside
Yeah,
down
that
before
is
you
a
have
good
an
question.
actual physical
Not that
problem?
long.
Yeah, like, he was bleeding. So all the blood would have been rushing towards the exit
Yeah.
wound.
B, he's not Batman.
He's not Batman. And C, he's fucking upside down.
Well, the thing I don't know if there are other things you could use to determine what time it is, but we don't know exactly when he passes out. We just know that the sun's going down when he wakes
Yeah.
up.
So
So he could have been up there for 2 hours. He could have been up there for 2 minutes. We don't really know.
he wakes up. He's got all the blood in his head. He bonked his head. He's not thinking too rationally. So he just gets his knife out and cuts himself down. He's not. You're limited when you're hanging by one leg to like your choices, but he's not trying to like grab the rope or fall in any kind of controlled manner. He just crashes on the ground and stabs himself right in the leg.
Well, he lands on the knife, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
he,
yeah.
he breaks
It
it
breaks
right off
off,
the
yeah.
handle.
He dropped the knife and then landed on it.
He has a good like pain scream fit here, and then starts, diligently scooting back to the car because he sees the sun's going down. When the zombie with the shirt, he pokes his head out a hole in the wall where he's been watching the trap. He's like, "Hey, I see you got a dog. I went and got some dogs.
I got my dogs.
I'm gonna sick them on you."
Shirts
And-
versus blouses.
Yeah. So he's got 3 zombie dogs. Zombie dogs are like, "Well, there's some sunlight. We got to wait till the sunlight blocking the street goes away." Will's like, "Well, I guess I'll just rub my butt on the ground faster trying to get away."
I felt like that was a decent tension building mechanism where
Yeah.
there was literally a line on the ground from
Yes.
the
Yes.
It was
sun.
very reminiscent of Star Wars Attack of the Clone.
I hadn't seen it.
No. What's the Phantom Menace? I'm sorry.
Which part? Oh, the shields blocking the lightsaber fight. Okay.
Oh.
So
The only thing I would say is, like, I thought that was a smart way to, kind of add that element. But at the same time, it was like, fucking dogs just fucking run.
They would just jump through it.
Yeah, it would just hurt for a
or they,
moment. And then,
Yeah.
they would probably be going at such velocity that even if they hit the sun, their momentum would just carry them
Yeah,
through it
they-
anyway.
unless they knew exactly what sunlight is. Like,
Yeah.
Well, even regardless of whether they know or not, like, it's not like with some vampires where, like, if they hit that, they immediately turn to ash. It would be like putting your hand in hot water to reach a thing behind it. Like, you do it fast enough,
like
you're
putting-
fine.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Short
Like
brick
going
history
for a
story.
candle
Get that
flame.
Liedenfrost effect.
yeah.
Once upon a time.
No, not the pasta.
It was the pasta. Once upon a time, I thought I was going to be a Buddhist monk. I was going to train myself so that I wouldn't feel pain. So I made pasta one day and I just took it out with my bare hands. And I was like, that hurt. I must not have done it right. So I did it again. Still hurt. Haven't done it since.
It was like a time to try it again.
I mean, he learned. It took him 2 tries, but he did learn.
I think you should try that bobbing for apples.
I only had to learn it once.
Maybe try it on lukewarm water first. Anyway, so the dogs descend upon him, and had I not known that the dog was going to get it, like this could be this, I could see myself being in suspense in this scene because I really want that dog to live.
Yeah.
But knowing what kind of movie we're dealing with, I know that dog's toast. So, bottom line, like, he's got a pistol back in the car. He dropped his rifle when he got snared. Also, before he got snared, after shooting the shit out of Fred, he also just spun in a circle and just shot New York. Just fired his gun around.
Wait, that's, again, he is straight up losing it.
Yeah, he's just seeing things and whatnot.
Hourly occurrence point.
I almost was like, does he think that he's being set up for like a sniper ambush? Like what is he shooting up for? Like what is he?
He's hearing things. He's he fucking just saw his mannequin friend move, which he's not really sure should be able to do. So yeah, like
Somebody's fucking with me. and
Yeah.
they're probably watching, so I'm just gonna
Why
take
does
some
it
random
feel
shots.
like somebody's fucking with me?
So
because they are.
he so the dogs descend on him. Sam's fighting one. Will shoots the shit out of one with a pistol, but then he can't. Like the second dog knocks the pistol out of his hand. He's rolling around with the zombie dog. The zombie dog at least is presentable. It looks like, I see the CGI of that and I'm like, he's fighting something at least. I feel like he's in more peril than with the zombie men.
Better, but
And the Sam, I guess, kills one of the zombie dogs on her own, but she gets bit.
badass.
And then she comes over and tackles the dog off of him. He gets the pistol, kills that dog. All the dogs are dead. The zombie, I guess, was just like, I didn't really think of what the step after the dogs was. So I'm not going to do anything. Just go.
He spent all of his I can think now points on that.
Well, yeah, because he was like, what did the humans do? Like, I know what I would do.
Well, I said
But I
while
don't know
watching
what he
this,
would do.
he must have been like a Bond villain in his previous life because he's like, I set up this great trap. You should totally die by this. I'm not going to stick around to
Yeah,
find
he
out.
went home.
Yeah, I'm out.
So, now, it's super sad. Will Smith brings the dog home, and he, gives it the serum, and he's singing some Bob Marley to Samantha, and she just goes limp, and then he looks at her eyes are totally dilated, not responding to light, and her gums are looking weird, and you're just like, she's a fucking zombie dog. So he transforms into a constrictor snake and just squeezes the shit out of this zombie dog. And you're looking at his face for a while, and he's conveying the misery he's in very well.
A
Yes.
while? I would say it happened at breakneck speed. Rah.
It was
Wow.
the same face I made when I found out this.
John also did
It's-
choke the table to death while he was doing that.
It's also the same face I'm going to be making in the bathroom later tonight.
I didn't know you could kill a table by strangling it, but John showed us how. Either way, it's super sad. He buries Samantha, and now you're like, well, that's the last thing I cared about in this film. So he goes.
I was done at the circle jerk.
I mean, you kind of know in a film like this, the dogs are going to get it.
Yep. So he goes to the video store, tries to talk to the mannequin lady. She's not talking it back to him.
I told my friend I'd say hello
Yeah.
to you today.
So please say hi.
Say hello to me.
Please say hi.
I felt that because it's basically he's lost the last actual other sentient thing near him that doesn't want to
Oh
kill
yeah.
him. He's having a shit week.
All right. So
I get what's
how many
going on.
mannequins?
Do you really want me to answer that on the air?
I don't.
If you're going to, I'd prefer it be on the air than off,
Why?
because then
That it's preserved.
yeah,
forever.
we have evidence for whatever's gonna come from this. I don't know.
I ain't talking.
All right,
So
good choice for all of us.
pleading the fifth is not a no.
No,
So,
no, but yeah,
Nor is it a yes.
I
No,
think
is
I
it?
think
Yes.
Will Smith does a fine job in this, and I do
Yeah.
feel for him here.
Yeah.
Is maybe a little goofy, but the bigger problem being, after that dog dies, I'm just like, fuck you.
yeah, I don't know what the movie could have done, but the problem is the movie just has not done enough for me to care about Will Smith. And that's why, I'm sad at what happened, but I just don't care.
I know what the movie could have done. He could have just fucking gone all John Wick and just fucked these things up. Like, if this ended with him just, like, going out in a blaze of glory, all of New York
that's what
burning
he
to the
tried.
ground.
Yeah.
He was trying, but, like, we
The
take a detour and fucking
well,
introduce the other
The
element.
CGI does not have his back on this.
Oh, yeah, that's not helping
This
either.
part
yeah.
where he's on the pier and he's like, "I'm just going out. I'm just getting in my car. I'm setting a trap so the zombies see me on the pier, and I'm gonna run them all over. Good plan."
Because I'm mad.
He runs a bunch of them over until
Yeah.
like the shirt zombie's like, "Hey, you should probably flip his car over." Turns out these zombies are crazy strong, and like one of them
And they're
shoulder
like,
blocks
okay.
his car over.
Yeah.
Do we get anything as to why he did this on the pier?
Maybe he could keep them boxed in.
Yeah, it contains.
I don't.
I mean, they kind of.
I don't have any evidence for it, but maybe they just don't like being in water.
It's also possible that he had some kind of. Well, actually, wasn't the pier where he sent his wife and kid off? Is that?
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
he
So,
appears
like-
there every day for people to
Yeah.
meet him.
So he's got an emotional connection with that area. So it's kind of like, I'm going to make my last stand here.
No.
And it's
Not even
convenient for
last
the
stand,
plot
but-
too.
Well, yes,
It's
that's
the place that he presumably goes every day at noon.
Mhm.
So he may just know it like the back of his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that was-
it,
He put a dummy of himself up at
Mhm.
his desk. That was
Yeah.
the day.
and possibly zombies might be watching him from
yeah.
the
It's
darkness.
just like that's
during the day.
if
too.
you're going to wildly drive a car around, that's not the best spot to do it. But man,
Yeah.
whatever.
So
Yeah.
Either way-
I understand. But at least this time it had purpose.
he's
Yeah,
about to
unlike
die.
in the beginning.
Shirt zombie, he like sticks his head in the car and he's like, "I'm gonna yell at you a little bit before I kill you." And then just like the fucking light of Helios ignites and like everything's bright as fuck. The zombies are like, "I don't want any of this. We're leaving." You see like some like long lady hair comes in and someone's like messing with him, and then like he wakes up in a car and this lady's like, "Where do you live?" And he gives her his address. He's like, "Don't let them follow you." She's like, "Let them follow me." Done.
Did we ever find out what that light was?
I don't know. She had something
I
on her
took it
car.
as just like a magnesium for.
Yeah.
She had,
I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking too. But like,
she
we
had a
never really-
downstairs mix-up. It was her mangina.
Okay.
I mean, it's
you know.
not. I mean, my car's a 2017, but if I put my high beams on
Yeah, it would be
a
bright
pier
as
at night,
fuck.
like everyone's dead. Like if you're a vampire, like
Yeah.
fuck you. Like LED lights are no joke.
Mm.
So
That's true.
either way, he wakes up. This goes from normal to just out there real fast. He wakes up like kid, the woman's like cooking eggs, cooking bacon. She's like, "Hey, I made you breakfast. I sewed your legs shut. I'm Anna. This is fucking Ethan."
And for some reason, Shrek has more screen time than the dog did.
That's right, because the kid has Shrek on.
But when he first wakes up and he hears noises from the kitchen and goes to investigate and steps in,
Mhm.
he sees his wife and daughter at the table.
Yep, that's right. He does for a
Mm.
second. I
For a
forgot about
second.
that. All right, so he's disappointed that's not them. But he is like, "Hey, breakfast. Hey, there's bacon."
Hey, wait, I was saving that.
Yeah, and then she's like, "We're headed to Vermont. There's a colony up there." And he's like, "No, there isn't." It's like, "Yes, there is." And he's like, "I'm destroying my fucking breakfast." No, there isn't.
I'm angry.
It's fat chat foul. He all right,
Yeah.
you're saving that bacon. I understand that. That bacon might have been for an important occasion, but what the bacon's cooked. You don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like bacon, but I would not let that go to waste.
Plus eggs. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't see a chicken coop in his house. Like, those
Yeah.
must not be easy to come by.
No, and they're probably very spoiled.
Yeah,
Just
but
cook
I
them
think
a little more.
she did say they were powdered.
Ah, yeah, good call.
the point is, if you are like, I'm upset because I was trying to save that bacon, the answer is not to throw that food and that bacon against the fucking wall.
Yeah.
You grab that plate of all that bacon and shove it in your mouth in defiance of them and look them in the eye when you
And then
do it.
throw the plate at her.
But I will.
Not my words.
I'll let him off on the insanity plea again
Yeah.
because he's trying not to say, "I'm disappointed that you're not my wife and child." So he's like,
And
"I need to."
And I'm disappointed that I'm not actually dead right
yeah,
now,
so
hallucinating my family.
I need
on
to
the
cover
other
my
side.
ass.
Yeah.
I was saving that bacon for something
yeah, well,
important.
That's why I'm so upset.
I'm disappointed
Which,
you're
I
not
mean,
my.
I would be.
I'm disappointed you're not my wife and child, My dog just died. I'm still like I've lost a lot of blood. There's a lot of things going on.
I had just committed to like killing myself in just the stupidest manner possible. And
After I had to kill my dog, after I had to kill my best friend, the mannequin guy. It's a day. It's been a day.
He's in a good position to be thoroughly unhinged.
He's like, I'm gonna go take a nap, and we'll try this again.
It's a good time to remind you that we are brought to you by Better Health. BetterHealth.com. Oh, sorry.
He comes back downstairs. Shrek's on.
Better milk.
And that's this kid. Like kids do, they pick one movie and they're like, I have to watch it 20 times in a day.
Well, in the zombie apocalypse, if you find a movie, you don't challenge that.
Turns out,
like,
that's probably what Will Smith's daughter was doing too, because he knows Shrek backwards and forwards.
All the more reason to go for that gun.
Mm-hmm. And it's
both parties.
Anna's like, I don't know if I should be happy or afraid because you know Shrek way too well.
The kid is also like, wait.
Yeah.
Let me give you
we safe?
Quick answer on that. Be afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Be very afraid.
He's like, I'm not leaving. I'm going down to my lab. She's like, all right, I'm going to get in this sexy tank top and come downstairs and talk to you. And
wait, she didn't have the tank top on the whole time?
She had like a different shirt on upstairs, I thought.
Yeah, I think so.
But anyway.
I think it was just something over the tank top. But this is where I was like, wait, what the fuck is happening right now? Because he's in this house that now has this child that's wandering about and these new people. And where he lives.
Other than the child.
Downstairs is his crazy lab where he's got all kinds of infected people and animals and whatever. And apparently not even like a...
No lock on the door.
Yeah, no kind of warning, no kind of lock on the door.
I think he had a lock. I don't think they ever showed it, but I heard it. When he went in there was some kind of a...
Not much of one, because she was just like, I was calling down. Yeah, I was calling down. You didn't say anything, so I just wandered in. Like,
so this isn't creepy at all.
Oh, yeah.
He's been alone for a year, and she's the only vagina that is...
She also weirdly is just like here's your coffee. By the way, who's that on the table? Like, she handles that way better than I would have expected.
She knew at some point who he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care.
So he just seemed like the kind of person to keep
a lab in the basement.
Doing research.
Yeah.
Why'd you cover this woman in gelatin?
You know why.
You just need to bring her body temperature down. She's too hot.
I know she knows she might be aware he's a doctor or whatever, but like, I would imagine
not just a doctor like that guy.
Whatever. The point is, you are now looking at the thing or one of the things that murdered. What would she say? It was like 8 other people that she was traveling with. Like, you would think there might be some hesitation or something.
That's another thing we got to talk about because it'll be a little important later. So her backstory was her and this kid, who's not her kid, were on one of these like evacuation boats from Sao Paulo, full of like, there was supposed to be like a temporary living situation out to sea. Turns out the boat got an infected person aboard, spread. Everyone on the boat died except for like 5 people or whatever, or 8 people.
It was 5.
Who were immune. So she's immune. So like, when we find out later that if you have immunity, a cure can just be made from your blood, it turns out, I guess she's a legend too.
Yeah, just like...
Well, but she wasn't a doctor and a colonel.
She was not a colonel doctor.
No, she held no...
I don't believe that's entirely accurate.
Okay.
Well, because... Huh? Well, just Will Smith was immune, but he still had to do work to make the cure. Yeah. It's not just he's not just putting his blood in somebody and they're fine.
No, but ultimately that's what he did. He just
gave her his blood.
Zombie's blood.
Well, no, that's right. It was the zombie's blood.
Because he had created the cure.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry, I got my facts wrong.
But what is he basing this on? Oh, it's because finally it's a solid cure because it mixed with her blood.
Well, no, the antigens that are needed to create the vaccine would be in her blood cell.
Oh,
yeah. If it was given to a proper scientist, they could probably
extract it. Yeah. Okay, because the movie kind of just presented it like
it wasn't clear.
We'll get into a lot more of this in a moment, but continue.
So,
I don't want to get into a lot.
He takes Ethan up to his daughter Marley's room. And she's like, we named her after Bob Marley. And it's like, who's Bob Marley? We all called bullshit on that.
Yeah,
Like, you
bullshit.
just don't know. You can't not know who Bob Marley is. So we get a little.
Doesn't he do reggae?
Yeah.
See, even Brick knows.
even-
Isn't San
The
Paulo,
world's only been over for 3 years.
Yeah.
So
Wait, what?
Isn't San Paulo in South
Sao
America?
Paulo. I believe so, yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they know about reggae down there because I'm pretty sure they sing reggae down there.
Well, that's also, this kind of falls into that thing of, there was a girl I worked with once who, when somebody brought up Queen, she's like, I've never heard of Queen. I'm like, yes, you have. And she was like, no, I haven't. And I said, like, have you ever been to a sporting event? You have heard Queen. Like, because even if you're not fully aware of, like, if she didn't know who Bob Marley is, the minute he put play, she should have been like, oh, I've heard this before.
I wish I had the opportunity. I don't think I had a cell phone at the time, but I wish I had the opportunity to put that kind of test on the person that I met who had never heard of and did not know what a frog was, like the animal. This was in Glastonbury, Connecticut. Spent her entire life in Hartford and downtown areas, and I'm like, there's got to be frogs that somehow come into Hartford.
Were
Like,
you speaking with a retard?
no,
Has
just
she,
had never seen or heard of a frog, and I'm
or
like,
the Muppets?
or the Muppets.
Or
I'm thinking
you
of
know,
that,
like,
and
what
I'm
the
like,
I mean,
everybody else I was working
again-
with were also like,
she
how
did
did you
not
never know what a frog
know what
was?
the concept of
Yeah.
a frog.
Again,
Not even
maybe,
the abstract concept
maybe,
of a
but
frog.
holy shit, how?
I hope you asked her,
Homeschooling.
do you know what Kermit is? And she's like, a crime against nature. Anyway,
Big bang.
so we get a lesson in Bob Marley.
A sock on a hand.
She's like, all right, well, we should go to Vermont. And he's like, there's no colony in Vermont. And she's like, yes, there is. I know there is. And he's like, how do you know there is? She's like, God told me. And then we get into an argument
wrong
about
answer.
like all the bad shit that's happened in the world. That's what your God did. Also, by the way, your God led the damn zombies to our house.
And I thought that was pretty cool. Good job, God.
So, she didn't cover their tracks well, so the zombies are rumbling in, and he's like, he has Anna go get Ethan. Does not tell them he's about to set off a bunch of claymore mines.
Why would you?
Turns out all these cars in front of his house, he's put
Detail.
explosives in. Blows up most of them, but there's still some coming in. And he's going upstairs to get the two of them. And the zombie that looks like John Cena comes in and just beats his ass. Just kicks him all around the room.
Grabs him by the shoulder with his teeth
Mhm.
and just
Yeah, I was
shakes
gonna
him
say
like
that.
a dog toy.
He stabs the John Cena zombie in the dick with a screwdriver, and it just goes like, "Brr!" And then it takes him and throws him through the banister and down the stairs.
Because that is part of the thing here is and again, I think some of it is lost in how much they're kind of becoming zombies in all this, but this is not just we found food. You're supposed to start picking up on this is a coordinated attack. He is
Yeah.
after.
Like, this doesn't
I mean,
make any sense. Like, so first of all, there's no rules for what these things are. Anything set up in the world. So you're flying completely blind, which would be fine if it didn't end the way it did.
We'll get into that in a moment.
But they did establish that this is like, there are actual tactics involved because he's got all these floodlights before he sets off the claymore. They immediately crash the bulbs out.
Yeah.
It's
they've
clear
evolved.
they know what's going on.
So he's like, "I got my assault rifle, John Cena zombie. What do you think of that?" John Cena zombie's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm Spider-Man," and just fucking running
this is-
like Sonic the Hedgehog looping around the room, avoiding these bullets.
But like trailer 1 Sonic the Hedgehog.
So Will Smith's like, I don't know, I'll fire the M209 grenade launcher into my kitchen. Just blow that up. I don't need that room anymore.
And I might have guessed, but fuck it. I'm just going to open fire on everything.
At least that gets the John Cena zombie to like jump out a window or something. It disappears for a while.
I think it jumps out of the kitchen up the stairs.
Which would
So-
be scary if this creature was scary.
So then he goes upstairs, and this spooky zombie here, instead of noticing the woman and child hiding under the crib in the room, He's like installing a skylight. I mean, maybe he's trying to let some other
Ripping
zombies
the
in,
skylight out.
but he's just like, there's a hole in your ceiling now.
I'm gonna make it bigger.
I'll lower your property values, man.
He's just a crackhead that got into the walls. He's trying to get that copper wiring.
I mean, it could very well
He's
just
like,
be it, yeah.
clearly, I came in the wrong house. I just want to go. Either way, he comes back down, and he's about to find the other two characters. And Will's like, Anna's gun's by the bed on the nightstand. I'm gonna run over and grab that and shoot the hell out of this guy, and he dies.
Yeah, very special.
So then, friggin', so now he's like, let's go downstairs. Let's go to the lab. We'll go in the lab. They have a spot in the lab where there's some fucking really secure glass doors, considering these things just smash through steel doors like they're nothing.
Plexiglass is a
Maybe
bitch.
some
It's
Lexan
gotta
or
be
whatever.
something like
I mean,
that.
they smashed through
Vibranium.
they smashed through the steel doors. They probably didn't go through the steel. They just
Well,
probably
they
blew
ripped the hinges out
off
the wall, yeah. And I'll give you, like, that door is probably really hardcore, but the hinges are still attached to something that was not meant to have that door.
Yes.
So either way, the zombies all come in, and they're all sealed in the little chamber where he's got the female zombie that's been recovering, and her recovery is now she's changed from like a gray veiny bald woman to like just a pale bald woman. She's like a
Just describe me before and after coitus.
yeah.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head while watching this when you said she turned into Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, she went from like a Borg queen to a Tilda Swinton.
Yes.
When I was really hoping for Jerry Ryan.
Yeah, keep hoping.
So the other zombies are all just like sneering and whatnot on the glass. And the leader zombie comes in. He's like, guys, check this out. Just runs face first into the glass like a dozen times.
Shoves like 5 guys out of his way before he does it too.
It's like, my name's Steven. Welcome to Jack Harry.
Yeah, and they're like, this is the face glass. Anyway, they're so he's like, oh, I cured the virus. Here, take some of her blood. Go into this crawl space I have over here.
Well,
It's an
before that,
oven.
he's
It's not even a crawl space.
He's yelling at the zombies, being like, "I can cure you.
Yes.
I fixed it now." Like he's still,
Yeah, he's hoping the
stuck.
zombies got that smart. They're like, I still
they-
don't know
they
about
didn't.
language, dude.
and
Well,
we're really excited about smashing our faces
Yeah.
He
into
spent
glass.
so much of this movie saying how these zombies are feral, they're not humans anymore, whatever, and now he's just trying to plead with them.
Well, now he's figured it out that they're
Yeah.
They
they're
don't
after
do a
the
great
girl
job
zombie.
He's also
setting it up, though.
he also realizes that like he doesn't have a way other than that to stop them from breaking through. So he's just like, guys, please. Like I,
Yeah.
I went through a lot to get to this point. Can you not
So-
fuck up?
He's like, I'll reach into my little drawer here in this operating room, and I'll get out this picture of my family, and I'll get out this surgical hand grenade, and
It's medical grade.
medical grade hand grenade. Meanwhile, John Cena zombie is smashed against the door in such a way that he has created a butterfly into shattered glass, which triggers.
Is why he
to
grabs a grenade and
remember-
everything.
Pointless, stupid.
Yeah, that his daughter was like, "Look, Dad, a butterfly," before he left. Oh, we skipped over that flashback. So, final flashback: the helicopter's flying away with his family. Some jets came by, blew up the George Washington Bridge, or I'm sorry, that's the Brooklyn Bridge.
Both of them.
And the while that was happening, an outbreak of the zombies is running in, and they tackled a helicopter out of the air, and it crashed into the helicopter with his family. And that's what happened to his family. So he sees the butterfly on the glass. He's like, "Well, let me get out this hand grenade."
Well, yeah, it's some bullshit because she was talking about before, God's plan, and
Yep.
if you listen carefully, you can hear it. And at this point, he sees the butterfly wings in the glass.
Yeah.
He sees the butterfly
Which
tattoo on
is
her.
a stretch and a half.
Oh yeah,
Well, it's like that time that
Oh, yeah.
God killed Mel Gibson's wife so that he could remember 5 years later to tell Joaquin Phoenix to beat an alien to death with a baseball bat.
yeah.
He
Damn, I keep forgetting how stupid that.
I will never forget that.
liked the mysterious way.
Well, yeah, I'll never forget how stupid that is, but I just, like, I hadn't thought about that damn movie in so long, and then it's like, oh, God, right.
It's like having lost the game in a totally different and more painful way.
So,
Not even the water thing. Okay.
So, head zombie here, he bursts in. Will Smith
Head
just
first.
lets go of the grenade and just fire. Everything's on fire.
Yep.
Right.
And presumably Ethan and Anna survived that because they go to Vermont.
Yeah, I mean, they wouldn't be cooked inside that thing. No, not at
they're
all.
just in the oven.
It's fine. Totally fine.
I mean, I don't know how long that fire would persist because it's not like it was a...
It's also a fragmentation grenade. They really wouldn't
Yeah, I
be
think
fire.
one of them
Yeah.
had an ice pack on them. It was fine.
Well, like, it's an oven, so it's got some heat proofing, and it's not like
Yeah,
a...
that's right.
And what is
Ovens
it?
are designed to
fuel
keep the
air
heat
bomb,
out,
right?
right?
Is
Where
it ever specified it's an oven?
It's not, but it's an oven.
It looks like
It
Well,
looks
it certainly
like
looks
an
like
oven. Doors
well,
and
because
ice
that also
doors.
brings to the other point I was going to make though is like, is there a way to open it from the inside?
That's a good
Why would
question.
there be?
I don't know. That's why I'm like, what the hell was this
You know what?
thing and why? And,
Instead of an oven, now that I'm thinking about it, it actually might have been a crematorium.
I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah, but those don't have like emergency opens
Yeah.
or anything.
No, you're right.
So either way, Anna and Ethan, they get to Vermont.
Somehow.
The cure, the cure works. Well, it's Vermont. Like, you think anyone panicked up there? They're like, zombies. We live like 30 miles from each other.
I think the point is more like they survived the whole situation somehow.
Yeah.
And got their way to Vermont.
It was too cold for the virus to become airborne up
Yeah,
there. is
sure.
What the,
Oh, that's
it
actually what they said. Oh, okay.
yeah, and it was in the middle of winter when the outbreak.
Yeah, it happened right by
happened.
Christmas.
Yeah.
So you see them walking into this compound. Like they've been playing the game way longer, so they have like everything's walled off. They got like some animals in there. They got a farm going. They're all set. And she's like, so this guy, Colonel Dr. Robert, whatever his last name was, he discovered the cure at like 8:51 and took his life on 8:52. He is his legend continues or whatever. And movie ends. And I gotta pee. I am legend.
Go pee. Joe is a legend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this reminds me of an old yarn. There was a day long ago. Tony, tell us your story that you were telling that I cut you off
Pepperidge Farm.
During
remember?
mic check.
during my check. You remember that? He remembered that it was during my check. He didn't remember what the story was.
I did, but it's not.
It's not about a cat.
It's not about a cat.
Thought it was about a fly.
Tell us a story about a cat.
Was there a story about a cat? Why are we doing that? Why don't you
What a cat story.
I think I was
Don't
telling
worry,
you that.
Joe's bladder is the size of a chickpea. He'll be
Yeah.
back
How's
momentarily.
that treating you?
That thing?
Yeah.
Joe's bladder?
How's the gummy treating you?
Oh.
I don't really.
Okay.
I mean, my neck might be a little better than it was before, but
Okay.
significant. Maybe I need to take 2.
Maybe you needed to have some of this Toki
Yeah.
Centauri whiskey.
Yeah, except the problem with doing
There's an antacid out there?
it won't help. Like my esophagus is so eroded that it'll just be like swallowing pure fire.
What the hell
So
happened to
you
your
just got-
esophagus?
So
I have
Mountain Dew.
chronic Mountain Dew.
Yes, chronic.
Chronic acid reflux.
I mean,
From
am I
the
wrong?
Mountain Dew.
Prob-
probably
probably
from the Mountain
From the Mountain Dew. Almost definitely.
Definitely contributing factor.
Also, this episode is brought to you by Mountain
the
Dew.
pizza.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm
Pizza
gonna have to
doesn't
take an
really
antacid after this because this whiskey's gonna.
Well,
Also combined with the
I'm-
gummy. Whew.
yeah, I noticed.
Goodness.
I'm sure the listeners will too.
I didn't notice.
Mm.
Oh my. Oh.
I got the
I do got the vapors.
Especially now Joe's back. Not that we were taking a break anyway, I guess, but
we were doing something.
I will jump ahead to give a little thing here. My saying I will not recommend this movie to start with. I'm doing this to explain to you another thing that I knew beforehand, but which is the ending of this movie definitely changed. The original story, which I personally feel is way better, is that Huh?
That's so unusual that happened.
Yeah. Is the whole idea is he does not find the cure. That's some bullshit they threw in, and I don't even know about the whole God business, but the idea is he discovers that essentially with this virus coming out and the mutations or whatever, this is the new way of life. They are humanity, and he is essentially the monster. He's the boogeyman, and they're worried about him because he keeps stealing their people and killing them.
Oh shit!
Interesting.
You should keep doing that. Keep go on a killing spree.
That would have made a lot
Yeah.
better of a.
And that's why, like,
way
the
to
whole
end this
thing,
film.
I am Legend, because he is essentially the boogeyman
Yeah.
to this new form of humanity that has cropped up. And that's a thing. Like, that's a fucking story. Instead, we
see.
just do the tacked on ending of, oh, I found the cure at the last minute and sacrifice.
Drooling, incomprehensible,
Circle jerk.
afraid of the light.
It's not a better form of humanity.
I think it is the new form of humanity.
Well, I
that's
mean,
cropping
incels?
up
If they're
these days.
immortal and they don't really
Yeah.
need to do much.
Gen
No,
Y.
yeah.
in general.
Yeah, the latest gens.
Well, whether it's a good step for humanity or not, it's not the point.
Listen,
The
that's not
point
my call to
is,
make.
yeah, that's the point. Is it's not our call. It's nature. Well, I mean, we
So-
caused it, I guess,
But
but
I will kill any of them again my way.
Did we read the stats on RottenCGI.com?
oh, we did not get there
Oh.
yet. Yeah, I jumped ahead to give you that little tidbit, but so yeah, weirdly enough, on RottenTomatoes.com, critics gave this a score of 68%. Audience gave this a score of 68%.
Oh,
Wow.
That's their thoughts and opinions. What about you guys? We'll start with Rob because I feel like he's fading.
No, yeah. So, yeah, I don't. First of all, I don't recommend it. It's telling a story that, well, it's not even really telling a story. Like this, there's almost no dialogue in the movie. It's a very, very. I still don't understand like what the point of the ending was. Like the cure, he found kind of, sort of the cure. Was that Goblin ever really cured? Did we ever get definitive proof of that, or he just decided? He's just like, well, she's getting some color
The
back in her
process
cheeks.
was reversing.
Yeah, she seemed to be at the stable point the rat was.
Yeah,
So
in a very non-clinical setting, surrounded by John Cena's.
correct. So,
She appeared to be making progress.
sure, why not? So, all
a
right.
step in the right direction, if nothing else, I guess.
So just suck her blood out and be like, yeah, check it, Mr. DNA knows the answer. I mean, it's just a boring movie. It's just a boring, tiring, exhausting, long, bad movie. So no, I don't recommend it.
Yeah, I will say to its favor, I did find it went a lot faster than I expected. But it's not that interesting. Like a lot of, as I said before, there were a lot of opportunities and things that were squandered. And the changing of the ending, I feel, is like a total shit move. But
I mean, once Doggo leaves the film, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
no, you definitely check out there. Joe.
I like the 68. I think this movie is a D.
Is that a D plus?
Yeah, it's like a D plus. So
I got your D plus right here.
yeah, a movie can survive with the bad CGI. That's certainly not a deal breaker. Like I just watched a movie fairly recently. Like I don't know if any of you have seen Warm Bodies, but like the CGI bad guys in that are terrible. But like the movie still worked. But
Probably didn't have $150 million.
no, I don't think it did. That being said, though, like it's still like I'm not against the idea. I like the one man in Manhattan all to himself going crazy. I just feel like with what they were handed,
Call Home Alone 2, Joe.
they didn't take advantage of it. They like there's a little bit, but there's like the zombie thing. I feel like it should almost just not be there. Like if it was just like everyone died, the disease just killed people, you know, and it's just this one guy going crazy in Manhattan. I'd be more interested in that.
Recreating Cats in its entirety.
Yeah. Or
Mannequins.
I think like the movie, it's not a complete failure. It had some parts, like has a great freak out in it. I do like his crazy scenes in general. But it's not, I can't recommend it. It's just not like, it's not an exciting movie and it doesn't do Like when you're watching it and you're like, I wish it would do all these things that it's not doing, but it's not surprising me in any way with the things that it's doing of like, oh, that's not what I wanted you to do, but that's still cool. It's just doing stuff. And you know, I couldn't care. And that was it. Like, I think there were good ideas and they just weren't used well.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of potential squandered.
Yeah.
Let's do Breck.
I'm gonna make so many people mad.
Should I do John first?
Yeah, do John.
All right, John.
We'll end with the dissenting point of view, I guess.
I think that's what we're looking at.
Yeah, I also would not recommend this film. I would give it a flat D. No D. It's not a complete failure.
Not an erect D like a
Yeah, no,
like a
it's
flaccid
definitely
D.
a floppy D. Verging on a D minus. It's a micro D.
Apologies
lower
to the
case
micro
D.
D among you.
It's not a good zombie movie. It's not a good vampire movie. Lord knows I love both of them. It fails at both.
Bad ones.
Like what? Good one.
John will make them good.
John,
John wants them to be good
I'll
so
still
hard.
like some of
he
them.
will.
I understand.
He'll
the
enjoy
struggle.
'em.
I understand the struggle.
Yeah.
But yeah, the horrible level of the CGI animations, especially, I could forgive the poor quality if they had put a little effort into variance. But the fact that in the group scenes, it is the exact same model, just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. It just completely takes me out of any sense of actual concern that I have. This is a real thing. It's like just too fake. Will Smith is Will Smith. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Yeah, I think Will Smith did a great job, and I agree with you. It also, not just in the variations between them, but the fact that, like, there's no reason these couldn't have just been people. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Touch them up with some CGI.
yeah, CGI for some of the, if you're having them do Spider-Man moves, fine. But like, if you're just having John Cena stand next to a burning car to yell,
Yeah,
you know,
Yeah.
it could have just been a
if you
dude.
really need to do the monster mouth, you know.
Yeah, CGI for the
that,
monster
man.
man. It was fine.
2007, you could just got John Cena.
But you couldn't see him.
No, that's true.
That's the problem. Brett.
All right. I really like this movie. If I was flipping channels and I saw this on TV, this is definitely something that I'd watch to the end. I would actually give this probably a B+, A-. I enjoyed the movie. I wish I could tell you what it is that's different about the way that I perceive this movie. The CGI did not bother me.
The bad science.
The science, it was like made for the public consumption movie shorthand for science, which I'm kind of used to seeing. It wasn't as bad as like in, I think it was a G.I. Joe movie that I saw. They were like, the bad guy's office is in the middle of a particle accelerator. I'm like, none of that even slightly makes sense. At least this, like, to maybe even a 4-year-old would easily make sense. And I could see how these things would have parallels to, like, actual science. You know, he had pictures of the original experiments that he did. He went through a lot of different trials. I could see parallels. So I can at least see where they got it from. But yeah, the CGI did not bother me at all. I thought that the environment that he was in was interesting. I guess it just gave my mind enough stuff to wander around in, and I liked the concept, the kind of problems that were set up. Yeah, I totally recommend this movie. I enjoyed it. I'd watch it again.
Okay, so we all agree it was shitty, and
Well, in reality, the bulk of us did not recommend it. So, what would we recommend instead,
Kellogg's Butter Butters.
movie-wise?
I think what else is
Better, better
in
health.
this, like,
Underworld.
no.
Okay.
I haven't seen it in ages, but probably the Omega Man.
I haven't seen that one.
Overdrawn at the Memory Bank.
Um,
So early Raul Julia film.
if we're like looking for like a cure to a virus, like Outbreak's cool, but that's a completely different style where
Yeah.
Got a monkey though.
it does have a monkey. shoot the shit out of that monkey with a giant tranquilizer gun.
Good for it.
28 days later.
I was just thinking,
Yeah.
28 days
28
later.
Days Later is pretty good.
You should watch that 30 Days a Night for a long, long time.
I remember regretting that right when it started.
Yeah, well, you know.
That is roughly my memory of that as well.
And I'm like, I'm sealed in this theater now. I paid good money
I
to be
remember
here.
being disappointed but not upset.
I don't remember it being terrible, but I don't remember much about it at all. So
All right. So one of my reversal questions here got me thinking about, would you rather see interesting CGI done poorly or like more bland CGI but executed perfectly? So like a not that interesting model or whatever, or they don't do a lot with the CGI that you couldn't have done with a person, but it's integrated flawlessly? Or would you rather see they attempted something a little more ambitious with the CGI but didn't do a good job?
I'd rather the more ambitious, because the more, if you get crappy CGI perfect, you're ending up with a hyper uncanny valley Jar Jar Binks.
Well, I'd say like one of the, like a Jurassic Park 3, like I think the CGI is pretty damn good, but you're like, who cares? Like, you know, I'm not interested in anything that's happening here.
What, Spinosaurus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do give them more credit if you try something a bit more ambitious and don't quite make it. I give that more credit than if you, like in this case, just have a person and it looks like shit.
Well, yeah, this was bad CGI,
Too fat for
not
this, Rob.
not ambitious CGI, not executed well. What say you, John?
I prefer things to be done practically whenever possible.
Well, of course.
And if you need to, touch it up with CGI.
Yeah.
And therefore, you can use higher quality CGI in smaller doses and be
What
more
are you
effective.
looking for?
But if for whatever reason it has to be CGI, would you rather, you know?
I would rather be entertained by what I'm watching than have it be pristine. You know, especially if it's 100% CGI.
Yep.
You know, then everything matches. But I mean, it is like in this movie when it's so blatantly different than from the film. You know, what's real and what's CGI. Then that takes me out of it.
Yeah.
And unless it's intentionally like Who Framed Roger Rabbit or Cool World or
Well,
where
and that's
it's not
one
meant to
thing
be real.
that I'll agree with you on too, is I think like if they had a cooler design that, you know, still looked like it wasn't there, but like, you know, they had like, you know, a more original kind of
Yeah, at least make
body
it
to 'em or
interesting.
something.
There's
I would
no
be
way
like,
they could do that with
Yeah.
practical.
I'd be like, okay, that's cool.
Not even just no way they could do that. I would give them more credit if it's just like something I wouldn't mind looking at instead of this hot garbage. Like it's just nothing. But yeah, and I've always said, you know, like since the beginning of this podcast, I've said, you know, do everything as practical as you can. If you can't do it, you know,
Spray
safely,
paint a tiger black.
no. If you can't do it safely or realistically, then you do CGI.
I just realized they both looked like if you just hit a person with a sandblaster. That's what this
You know what
the
it looks
model
like?
looked like.
It looks like the guys from the new Ridley Scott Alien thing.
Oh yeah.
What's his name?
Oh, the
The
engineers.
engineers.
It looks like
Yeah.
the engineers.
Kinda,
if
yeah.
if you took a film clip of the engineer, but then converted it into a lower quality GIF file, that's what you have for the animation in this film.
That's kind of it.
Like he took a screenshot of the engineers with his phone, but he's like he couldn't send the file because of his data plan, so he had to like put it on the lower quality.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder if it's just because when I'm seeing these things, my brain starts like processing the information and shuts off my visual.
When I want to use my brain to,
I'm not saying I do this on purpose.
I know, but use my brain to create a reality for myself. I read a book. When I watch a movie, I am paying, whether it's rental fee or movie ticket or streaming service, I'm paying someone else to fill in the blanks for me, and I expect them to do it well.
No, I know.
Yeah, we pay a
But
lot.
I didn't
what
come
I'm-
here to
What
think.
I'm saying is that when I'm seeing movies, what I'm hypothesizing is I actually see them differently than the rest of you.
I know, I understand completely.
Like
what you're
I'm not
saying,
even seeing most of the
No.
movie. I think I'm just getting data, and then my brain is actually playing
No.
the movie for me.
Well, I know at least for me, I don't want to speak for everyone, but like that, I have situations like that too. But again, as John said, like, and we kind of brought this up before with the isolation and so on. But like, especially if I'm fucking leaving the house and going somewhere and paying money to see a movie, I want you to tell me a good story. If I watch about 5 minutes and say, well, that seems interesting, but the rest of this is garbage, and then have to create the rest of the story in my head, and I start seeing that story, I don't need to fucking leave the house and pay $20 to do that.
I hear that. It's
You went
just
after me.
The difference is
don't-
you're okay with that.
no. I'm not aware that that's even. There's
Well,
a
yeah,
difference.
you're-
That's the thing.
You're just
'Cause
kind of
I'm-
accepting of it.
No, I
but-
feel like I actually am processing it visually. I'm completely processing it differently than the rest of you. I don't think I'm even looking at the
his
screen.
brain
at all.
is subcubconsciously filling
Yeah.
in more details than
Then-
what
Yeah.
is actually
Exactly.
being presented.
Because when you were talking about like
we're
really,
getting caught in this, like whether he's more subconscious or I'm more conscious
well,
of doing it. Whatever.
when you were
But
talking about lower
the
quality
point is you're
GIF
okay with
animation, it occurred to me that I might not actually be seeing literally not seeing as many frames on the screen as you are. I actually think that I'm cutting off my visual. I've gotten that flash, and then my brain is going with it,
Alright.
and then it comes back in for more information.
I'm picturing an animated GIF of Keyboard Cat.
So,
Anyway,
None of us can remember whose role it is. Each of us has said someone different.
I'll do it.
Nope.
and it is only
I'm
fair.
all right.
Well,
Just
let's-
let him.
We've let John do it a couple times now.
Okay, fine. All right.
I mean, I did sponsor 2 movies.
He did sponsor 2 movies, but
That has nothing to do with this, but
Just saying.
Probably isn't going to roll a 20.
So have I. Actually, I might have.
20 of it.
I don't. D20 of Fate seems to be on sabbatical somewhere.
And it's
I mean, if you want to stand up, I can check that.
Is it in
drawer
the,
behind you?
the shelf up there?
Tony's got his backup D20.
It should be in that drawer that it's always in.
The Muse of Fate or something. I don't know.
Muse of Fate?
No.
We want a 20, right?
No.
No.
No,
We don't want a
we
20?
don't
do
want
not.
20
No,
or
not-
1.
4 or
Not
1.
for you.
What?
How about 3?
It is my die. Back in.
Oh,
Alright.
oh no.
You showed it and then
Surprised we
hit
haven't
it
done
really
this movie
quickly.
already.
We did
Yeah.
the second one.
Oh, is that right? Okay. We're dialing it back to 1986 with No Retreat, No Surrender.
It's Van Damme,
the
yo.
movie title?
It's the villain.
Huh.
Yeah.
Never heard of
little, These 2
You'll see why when you watched it.
little fat kid with a cake.
I just remember at the end, like,
Training
story?
montage.
Van Damme fights like 5 dudes in a row and they finally beat him and everyone celebrates. And it's like, oh, it only took like all of you to kick his ass.
It's Van Damme.
Yeah.
All
Was
5'3" of them.
1998? Did you say?
No, it's like 80 something.
Oh, okay.
88?
Oh, 80. Okay, that makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah, by 1998, you ain't getting Van Damme as a villain.
No. Van Damme was one of those old World War II vets. Battleship.
Sure. I'm going home.
That's his new Netflix series, right?
Yeah.
Now, does he do a split between 2 battleships as they sail up
He does.
like, apart from each other?
Yeah. I mean, it's it's current day, so he does it naked. It's very
Okay.
tasteful.
Has anybody watched that?
Him doing a
Van Damme?
split?
No.
No.
Oh, he's got like no, it might not be Netflix.
Hi, Joe.
It might be
Good night.
Amazon Prime. But he plays himself as an actual. He's not only is he an actor, but he's a sick agent.
Like that Steven Seagal cop show.
It seems scripted. Anyway.
So wait, it's that, then there's a Being John Malkovich, and then there's another, was it the
Tony-
Nicolas Cage movie?
Tony thinks
Where he's
slapping
playing the
Nicolas
your
Cage
hand like a
turn-
Just turn the
retarded-
microphone.
Is this a theme now?
I don't know.
Slap your hand like a retarded duck. That'll stop him.
It will not.
Guys, we want to thank you so much for listening to our show. Bye.
Adios.
No retreat, no surrender.
Good night, everybody.
Fred, get back in the closet.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe, and if possible, leave a review. If you have questions, comments, or would like to sponsor an episode, email us at the4ampodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to support the show, you can buy a t-shirt, hoodie, and more at Teespring. Or gain access to exclusive content by becoming a patron at patreon.com/4ampodcast. Thanks again for listening. See you next time.